White 2 by TTS4life. Take it away.
Midwest Speedfest. It has been a wonderful weekend here at VGMCon, but unfortunately, things must come to an end. So this will be, unfortunately, the last run of Midwest Speedfest, but I hope that we have saved the best for last for you. So this is Pokemon White 2. To start things off, I'm going to be doing a little bit of RNG manipulation. So time is not going to start right away, but I am going to go ahead and set my DS clock and wait for it to count down. Just so I'm waiting for the right second in order to boot the game at the right time for some RNG manipulation. Time will start after I reboot my DS here. So just working on killing some time here. So I have to wait for the 32nd second. So I have to wait to shut off at 27, which should be coming up pretty shortly here. All right, and time will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. So, Pokemon White 2. I have a lot I could say about this game. A lot positive, a lot negative, but I really love this game. So, getting into it here, we got our classic Pokemon introduction here. I'm just going to be mashing through it as quickly as possible. I'm going to be giving me and my rival one character nicknames just because that allows me to go as fast as possible because it takes it takes one frame for 2 characters to print on the screen, so less characters that have to get print, the faster things go. I'm going to pick the girl because I like to play as the girl, and it's going to look a little weird because I'm going to be saying no to my name once, but that is simply because it is part of the RNG manipulation that I need to do. And I'm going to give him a one character nickname. I'm going to give him M just to shout out Minnow, who is the current world record holder for Black White 2 any %, which is what we're running today. And everything looks good as far as my RNG manipulation, so I'm just going to be mashing through the cutscene here. So for RNG manipulation in Gen 5, it's quite complex when you look at the nitty-gritty of it, but it all boils down to being actually extremely exploitable. So basically there's quite a few different variables that basically determine what seeds the RNG. The most obnoxious one is the MAC address because every single DS has a unique MAC address for network stuff. That means that every single DS has different batch of seeds that they can hit out of the trillions of seeds that you could hit, because the seed length is just astronomically long in this game. So what you'll be seeing me do in terms of movement in order to get all my desired outcomes will only work specifically on the DS that I am using here. So unfortunately, you cannot do exactly what I do at home and be able to copy my manips, unfortunately. But another thing that goes into it is obviously the date and time. You saw me set to a very specific day and time. What day and time doesn't really matter so long as it gets you a seed with all the desired outcomes. Go ahead and set my options here and just start mashing through mom. Another thing that is kind of weird is key presses. So key presses are basically just what buttons I'm holding while I am booting the game. And that leads to some very unique button combinations for some seeds, depending on how desperate you are in your seed searching process to find a seed that works. So, and another thing that is kind of obnoxious to play around with is something called Timer 0. It's a hardware level timer that's meant to induce more randomness into the seeding process. It's very, very fast and very hard to control. In White 2, it basically boils down to only 3 different values. But it's very hard to get the one that you want unless you use what is known as auto mode, which is how I let my DS just boot straight into the game without having to go to like the DS home menu and whatnot, and then as well as messing around with some DS parameter stuff, which is basically just changing like your DS's nickname, color, that kind of fun stuff. So all that kind of goes into what creates the RNG seed. Now, I haven't really talked about why we need to manip. The big reason that we're trying to manip is because we need a Tepig with really good stats, and I'm also going to try to extend that in the early game here into a Pidove that I can catch for Fly, and a Psyduck that I can catch for Surf and Strength, because those are the required HMs in order to beat the game as fast as possible. which is an interesting contrast because the prequels, Black, White 1, only requires cut in one specific case very early on to beat the game. So they kind of backpedaled on that a little bit and made it so they had to use some more HMs, although not to a very extensive case here. So I've picked Tepig, the fire starter, because he is the best for the first couple gyms. The first gym is a normal type, which any of the starters can really do. And the second one's poison, which kind of rules out Snivy because Snivy doesn't do really well dealing with poison. And our third gym is bug, which kind of sets Tepig as the clear winner since Tepig is a fire type. So we're going to go ahead and get into our first rival fight here, and this is kind of my first opportunity to check for stats. So my Tepig should have really good stats from the RNG manipulation that I did. The only issue is that I have to make sure that it has the right nature. So basically there's two different RNGs that are always getting checked for various things. There's one called the Pit RNG, which is taking care of most overworld stuff, including like NPC movement. If you get a wild encounter, that's a really nice crit. That helped me save a turn. I'm going to check these stats here real quick. 15 attack. That means we have nature, which is the correct, or sorry, we have naughty, which is the correct nature. So we are all set there to at least have not an unpleasant time going through the beginning of the game here. Still going to be trying to hold Manep for the first about 18-ish minutes of the run, so still a lot that I need to do yet, but a lot of it with some downtime here just because Bianca's going to run around and teach us how to use the center and all the stuff in it. So the Pit RNG that I was talking about, as I said, that does all the NPC movement, encounters, what the encounter is, as long as it's nature, its gender, all that kind of fun stuff, ability as well. And then there's the IV RNG. So the IV RNG is basically just for the IVs of the Pokemon that we're catching as far as we care about. So from the very start of the game, the IV RNG was set to have really good IVs, which are basically just on a scale of 0 to 31, how good that stat is for this specific Pokemon. So for this Tepig in particular, it has 31 in most things. It does have a little weak on the HP side. It only has 27 HP IV. So a perfect Tepig would have all 31s across the board. The worst Tepig would have all 0s across the board. So this is on the upper bound of Tepigs. And then my movement to get to Bianca was very specific in order to make sure that I got the correct nature. Since that nature is part of the Pit RNG and all the NPCs are making calls to that RNG, I have to make sure that I talk to Bianca on the right number of advancements since the beginning of the game to make sure that nature is correct. So just got to talk to the receptionist here. It's a little faster to talk to her than to deal with her like pulling you to her by just running straight up. So Bianca is going to be teaching us about catching some Pokemon. Bungie, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, speaking of catching Pokemon, I know we're going to be finding a Drillbur halfway, about 45, what's that, about 40 minutes or so?
45-ish minutes, depending on how things go. There's a lot of volatility in the early game, so you never know.
I think they're going to go well. I really have faith in this Tepig we got here. But let's make sure that we get your donations in for that bid war. Right now, Pig Egg is in the lead with $100, with Heavens following it with $50. Still plenty of time to snipe that donation. Maybe you can send in a donation of your favorite Pokemon, perhaps? I'm always a fan of 547 Whimsicott, hailing back to the Candy Floss run of 2019. But let's make sure we get that down there, and let's have some fun. We still got plenty of White 2 to come through, and a lot of Marathon left. We're still raising a lot of great money for the P Fund. Let's go, chat. Let's bring the hype.
Did I hear Pig Egg right?
Yes, you did.
I don't see it, personally. I'd love to hear from whoever donated Pig Egg how they came up with that. That is very unique. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why either.
So anyway, so I'm trying to hold RNG manipulation here. I don't want encounters except for the 2 that I laid out, so I'm just making sure that I'm taking the necessary precautions in order to not have that happen. I'm going to focus up a little bit here because this movement can be a little tricky. I'm basically just trying to make sure I do 2 walk tiles like that. It's kind of tricky. It's for a manipulation that I am not really going to know the results of for quite a while, so we're just going to hope that all goes well. But we should all be good here. If I get my pit of here, I kind of have a really good idea that I have done what I need for much later in the run. So this is our first for realsies trainer fight here. Level 4 rat, nothing too crazy. It's basically impossible without a crit to two-shot this rat. You got to get some really high damage rolls here. So for those who don't know, that is not a nice crit to start out with. So for those who don't know, how damage works is that basically there's this one really large, complicated formula that takes care of how much damage you're going to do, taking into regard your attack, their defense, your level, all that fun stuff. And then after that, basically the game does a random percentage between 85 and 100% of that, and that ends up to being 16 unique damage rolls for how much you do. So I might talk a lot about hitting specific ranges, and that just means that there's a chance that I do enough damage because of that extra randomness at the end, but it's not always guaranteed. So kind of advanced thing with my manip here too. I talked to the lass. That introduces what's known as variance. So because RNG is moving where the lass is, it was not moving where the youngster was, so I could talk to the youngster without much worry of breaking manip. But with the lass there, I have to make sure that I try to talk to her as quickly as possible, just so that I am still within like a window to realign my manip by the next loading zone, which will be into the ranch here. Really? You're gonna do this in a marathon? Come on now. It's not very nice of you. This is like a 92, 96-ish% catch at this health. It's a 1 in 16 for me to accidentally kill the pit of, which would not be very nice, but fortunately that did not happen, so the ball breakout is quite a bit of time loss though. Fun fact about Gen 5 is you will never see a 2-shake breakout. You'll only see 0, 1, or 3. I dare you to send me footage of someone breaking out in 2 balls or in 2 shakes. So we're coming up on the second rival fight here. One thing to note about the rival fights, at least the first 2, is that the rival has what's known as throw AI, which basically means that if it thinks it can kill me, it'll basically just start throwing the match by just spamming tail whip. So you could go into a really fun like a PP stall battle if you want to try to like bait him into using a move or something after how many tail whips or whatever. But we want to go fast. We're not going to bother doing that. It just basically means that unless we get crit just outside of like it doesn't see that it kills us, so it picks like tackle and then it crits and it does kill us. That sucks. But very rare to happen because crits are 1 in 16. So I did tail whip the Oshawott there just because if I crit, then what will happen is that I will skip Hugh coming out and complaining about me damaging his Oshawott. He's not very used to this battling thing yet. He doesn't understand that he's going to take damage no matter what you do. So anyway, so we got pit of. I'm looking to get Psyduck here. Hopefully all goes well. So let's see. Just going to be really careful not to bonk on anything here. And fingers crossed I don't get an encounter in this grass. That's unlucky. So I don't have Manip, which means I'm not going to have a Psyduck. I am going to have an Azrael, though. That's actually a good catch to make up for not having Manip. So let's go ahead and give it a tackle.
And that just goes to show just the absolute how fragile this Manip is and how easy it is to lose, because it's just how insane the number of layers there are to the RNG in the DS games. And it gets even crazier as things go on to like with the Switch games, where there's just you would need, if you manage to crack the RNG there, the NSA may have some questions for you.
Now, if I can get this Azrael in the ball, that would be great. Another 3-shake. This thing is really baiting me here and thinking I'm going to catch it. Azrael has a notably pretty rough catch rate for being a baby poke, so might be here a minute. Okay. I'll
There we
take
go.
third ball. It's better than nothing. It's better than not having a Psyduck at least. So, because we do need 3 Pokemon in our party at some point, and making up Psyduck happens later than when we need 3 pokes. So, this saves me from having to do some interesting shenanigans with party management later. But this also means I'm not going to have a guaranteed pass against this spinner, so I'm going to have to be careful of that. And I'm also just going to get encounters now all through the ranch, so hopefully I don't get too many. A nice thing about the grass mechanics in this game is that you do get a couple tiles of immunity when you first enter a patch of grass, up until about the 4th one, then everything comes full odds. So he's going to be playing mind games with me here as he spins around like mad. I do need this X attack for a fight later. So this spinner, he actually can't hear us. Some spinners, what they'll do is when they hear you running around them, they will try to immediately turn and try to look at you. That is something we'll take advantage of later. But with this guy, he does not have that property, so instead he'll just aimlessly spin around looking in random directions. So as soon as he turns, with normal human reaction time, you can just run past him and not have to worry about the fight at all. So now we're just going to get the TM for Frustration. We're not going to be using Frustration. It's unfortunately, since your starter starts with pretty high base friendship, it just doesn't end up being a very worthwhile move. But we rescued a Herdier from the bad guys, so yay us.
Hooray!
All right,
Do you think that Herdier's bingo?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it can be.
Hooray!
Hooray! All right, so no encounters on the way out. That's nice, at least, to make up for some of the catastrophic events that happened in the ranch. So anyway, so now we're almost ready to go take on the first gym. Just one last little story beat that we have to do is we have to go and learn about type advantages from Alder. He's got like 2 preschoolers held captive in his house, and he makes them fight us to show off how type effectiveness works, even though that we have a top percent Tepig. I just feel really bad for these monkeys. Actually, I don't. They have Lick, which is 30% to paralyze, and then 25% to lose your turn because of paralyze, and it happens about 95% of the time, so I don't have a lot of sympathy for these monkeys.
So this is where Hop went to school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, oh my god. Anyone who's ran like Gen 8 and plus, I hope you've studied your type advantages.
And he'll let you know every single time.
That's right. So, thankfully, nothing goofy went on with that Pansage. That's the one kind of scarier one of the two, since you aren't at full health. You get a free heal from Alder before the second one, which is the Panpour, and then as you leave, so you get a free heal for the gym, which is really nice. But yeah, again, with that like para spam, you can get kind of really screwed sometimes. I actually watched a clip earlier. Shout out to the French community. They're doing a White 2 Manipulus Blitz like event right now, where they're all grinding Manipulus together and trying to get the best time. I watched the runner Hien get completely bodied by this Panpour due to a combination of crits and para lose turn, and oh, I felt so bad. It made me kind of nervous.
That just sounds like Hien's luck to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's Pokemon. Like, you're never really gonna have the good luck that
You're
you
never
want.
safe, even when you think you are.
Exactly. So, all right. So there's our full heal here. So now we got to go back, but not until we learn about medals. Anyone want a medal?
I kind of do.
You do? Okay. I'll give you the first step medal. I don't need it. I've taken a lot of steps by now.
Hooray!
So we can all take our first step as speedrunners into White 2 here. So. And then Alder's gonna have one more thing, and then one more thing, and then we'll finally be back at the gym and get to have some fun.
So 2 more things.
I like one more thing. You know, that they just love doing one more. So, but at least this game, it's pretty quick getting through all the intro stuff, and you get your fun to run around and do stuff between them. So it's not too hand-holdy compared to some later gens that come to mind. But Alder gives us some Oran Berries. These are very useful for some just small heals, because we're going to be trying to take advantage of Tepig's ability, which is called Blaze. What Blaze does is it boosts your fire type attacks by 1.5 times, so long as you are at or below 33% of your health, rounded down for integer rounding stuff that games can't do very well. So with that in mind, so Charon's a normal gym. We're only ever going to see 2 pokes in various orders between Patrat and Lillipup. Our goal here is to not die, obviously. But I would like to leave the Charon fight with Blaze in order to take advantage of it in the next gym, which is Poison, and Ember just makes it a little bit better if we have Blaze. In this route, actually, there's 2 different natures that you could consider taking, each with their own different pros and cons. So I'm running Naughty because of the consistency. So my Naughty has exactly 25 speed, which makes me just barely slower than Lillipup from Charon, but lets me outspeed everything else. So I don't have to worry about being speed tied with Lillipup, which is what happens if you are higher than 25 IB, and I'm not plus speed nature, so I would need plus speed nature to outspeed, but it's just so much more worth having that boosted nature be an attack than speed. So my goal here is going to be to burn the pup. I didn't get the burn, so I'm just going to tackle it to not waste time with the burn, because the burn isn't going to help me anymore, and then I'll finish it with Ember again, since Ember is the shorter move name. So I'm always being kind of conscious about tech stuff in that regard. So, how are those Bidors doing? I know that we have a lot of money raised so far for our wonderful incentive so far. So do get those donations in. I'd love to get to fight Cynthia for you all. That's a good burn, so I'm going to finish it with Ember again. There we go. So that helps me save a turn there. A little bit of time save compared to how much I've lost already, but I'm actually full health, which is kind of crazy. I can't two-shot this rat, unfortunately, but I'm just going to get to run straight in the Charon at full health. That is really, really nice. Normally, you just heal to full using whatever you have. We got a freshwater from the guy at the start of the gym, so that that helps us if we get in a pinch after dealing with these gym trainers. Why is Azrael higher than everything else on my party screen on the bottom? That is interesting. We're doing a safety save here just because although Charon isn't too scary of a gym leader, if things hit the fan, I'd like to keep the heals that I have on hand, and I would also I also don't want to ruin my step counter because I'm still going to be doing some manipulation stuff later, and that requires me to not have my step counter in a really funky state. So just coming back from a save is a little bit better than running back. So just that extra little marathon safety. So I'm going to tail whip and then tackle twice. This is like a 90-some-ish range to 2-hit. It's very favorable. It's very unlucky if you don't get it, but thankfully we don't have that bad marathon luck. So my plan here with Lillipup is I'm going to tackle it twice, and then by then I should have Blaze for the last hit. Fingers crossed. Good. So now one more tackle puts me into Blaze. Beautiful. All right, so there's 1 down, 7 to go. So Charon gives us Workup, which isn't a useful TM for the any % run. It actually is used in a different category known as Challenge Mode. So what Challenge Mode is it raises the levels of all the trainer pokes in the game. So it adds a little bit of difficulty there with them at a higher level. And it also gives the gym leaders boosted IVs, better pokes, and movesets in general. And it's a time. That's been my main focus leading up to this event, and It's a category, let me tell you that. But this is any percent, so it's a little more forgiving in that sense. Um, so we got a lot of stuff here. Bianca's going to give us the TM4 return. Return boosts with friendship. Again, another move that we don't need. We just get way better moves later in the run. But we're also going to get stuck in a phone call with Professor Juniper. So one thing to note about that phone call in particular is that is when it becomes kind of annoying to try to hold RNG manipulation through the call, because RNG is moving very, very fast in this call, and it's the RNG that handles all the overworld stuff. So it is just very obnoxious to like hold Minep through this call and then get to Verbank without using like repels. However, if you do put a little effort into your Minep to like realign it at some point, so you're always kind of coming here on the same state of the overworld RNG, then what you can do is you can time leaving the call with one of the character's blinks. So what that does is that lets you kind of pick like a cluster of different frames where you could have left that call, because RNG, as I said, is moving very, very fast every single frame by multiple advancements at once. So, and that would let you kind of get a clump of NPC movement that you can identify off of and then get to Burbank without extended. Unfortunately, because this is a marathon and I had to do a safety save on Charon, ignoring the fact that I lost Minep way earlier than that, I need to buy one more repel, and I don't have that kind of money. Shoot. I forgot my normal mode shopping, so I think that's enough. That's what I get for talking during shopping. I gotta focus up. All right.
Well, how about you let me do the talking while you do the shopping?
That's a good idea. Go ahead.
All right, so we got $20 from Spider C with no comment. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Spider. Appreciate it. Oops.
Shout out to Spider. We have $83 from the Flying Marlin that says, it's been a blast helping put on Midwest Speedfest 2024 this weekend. Shout out to all the phenomenal runners, volunteers, and viewers for making this event awesome. Here's $83 for one of my all-time favorite Pokemon, number 83, Farfetch'd.
Farfetch'd. Good poke.
And I've got $5 from Space that says, can we name the Drillbur P-Fund? Well, if you get those donations in, you certainly can. Let me refresh that up there and see where we're at on that. It's going to be a few minutes before I get that that bid processed, because it's just not cooperating with me like your RNG Minep. But we can turn this around and keep this awesome run going. Let's get the hype in chat and get those donations in, because we have plenty of ways to go for that Fight City incentive and still some time to name that Drillbur. So get your donations in.
That's right. So I'm saying no to Bianca, because otherwise I'm going to get stuck in a loop where she keeps explaining how the Pokedex works over and over and over again, and I don't want to do that. But so now what's going on is I'm going to be trying to... I'm getting a lot of phenomenon. I'm going to be trying to get a setup for the next spinner here. This spinner is... her name is Lynn. She's very notoriously obnoxious to get past because she never does what you want her to. If you were holding Minep extended through the phone call, then you can just Minep to get past her without ever really having to worry about anything. But because I don't have Minep, I can't do that. So 7 is fine. It does 6. So this reel is a bit of a troll because of Endure. It'll just always survive on 1 HP, so you can just sit here and burn a lot of turns waiting for it to finally pick something else. So I mentioned Phenomenon when that little dark blue, like kind of circular spot popped up on the water there. So a mechanic unique to Gen 5 is what's known as Phenomenon. So Phenomenon spawn after every 20 steps that you basically take in an area where you can get encounters. So it has a small chance to spawn every 20 steps if the RNG is at a certain value, and it does all its fancy math with it to decide if it should spawn or not. Lynn is rude to me. I'm going to equip a Pecha Berry. Should I also have equipped an Oran Berry? The jury is out on that. The answer is probably. My notes are all over the place today. My laptop likes to scroll really fast through them. So, let's see here. 7 to 8 to 9. No, this is fine because I need to have Blaze for Venipede, but I'm not gonna have Blaze for coughing because I have to heal right away on coughing. So that's the situation that we're at right now. So I'm equipping the Pecha Berry because the next gym is poison, and pretty much everything has poison gas. So I'm trying to protect myself from getting poisoned because getting poisoned is really bad because obviously at the end of every turn I'm going to take poison damage. And I'm going to be trying to leverage Blaze as much as possible, so usually I don't have the health to just tank poison while trying to take care of everything. In some situations, I might be screwed and have to gamble some stuff, but we'll see here. I'm going to be doing a safety save right at the start of the gym here, just to make sure that I don't die. Because if I die, I go all the way back to Aspertia City, and that's a long haul back, so I don't want to do that if I can help it, so...
Oh, here we have the inferior version of this song.
Yeah.
D-O-G-A-R-S. Dogars!
Yeah, so in Japanese, they actually spell coughing's name, which is Dogars in Japanese. So the English, they just made it Pokemon, and that's why they kind of have to shimmy the ON on there. So this Venipede's annoying. I outspeed it, fortunately, but also I also have Blaze, so I'll just one-shot it. If I wasn't able to one-shot it, the problem would be is that it has Poison Sting, which, again, can poison me. And it also just put me in a bad state for coughing, so I'm going to go ahead and use an Orange Berry. That's not where my berries are. Have I played this game before? I think I've played this game before. Tackle, that's fine. Just don't crit me. Okay, I'll crit you. How about that? That's that's a way better deal. So that's a really good fight because I saved a turn there. So we're also going to get Flame Charge here. Flame Charge is a really good move because it takes advantage of us actually being naughty. Since it's a physical move, Ember is special, and Tepig doesn't have really good special attacks, so finally having a physical fire move is very nice. It also boosts our speed, which is nice. It'll let us outspeed things if we need to. So the whole reason that we fight the one that's way at the end of the stage first, instead of kind of working our way left to right-ish, is because of this Grimer. Grimer is very bulky in special defense, so using Ember against it just doesn't really get the job done. But having Flame Charge does, so we will fight that one on the far right first to get Flame Charge for this one. So I have Blaze, so I'm just going to be hoping for not getting crit. Let's let's rewind a little bit. I got my revenge, or I got karma'd after critting the coughing. So, where were we? Something, Billy Joe, Venipede. Yeah, that's just the problem with trying to take care of Blaze through this gem. It's just basically any crit just kind of owns you, so... you see a lot of runs die due to very unfortunate circumstances sometimes. I'm going for PB attempts and stuff, so if I was running Rash, which is the other like nature that you could do in like the early game for Tepig, he has a little bit better of a time with the okay, I'll burn this time. That's still saves me a turn. I'll take that. So Rash just has better ranges. Like with Blaze, I can two-shot that coughing, whereas with Naughty, I'll basically never two-shot with Blaze, so... I lost my Pecha Berry, so I have to equip that this time. Last time I just had to heal an Orin. So this Grimer, the reason it's a bit of a troll is because, A, it can just pound crit like it just happened. But the other things, it also has Poison Gas, which basically just lets me kill it for free. But it also has Disable, and because I really need Flame Charge to two-shot it, if it disables Flame Charge, I have to fall back on Ember. And Blaze Flame Charge and Blaze Ember basically never kills, so that's a little bit better of a fight. Now, I do have the levels to actually two-shot this coughing with Blaze. I can't the first one. So I'm just going to be hoping that things go a little bit better this time. Okay, I'll just burn it. I'll dodge poison gas, which is even better because I don't think I have my Pecha equipped still. So now we can fight the gym leader because she can actually hear us now because we shut up the rest of the performers by beating them. So Roxy's a pretty straightforward fight. I actually don't have to worry about poison as much, which is why I'm not equipping the Pecha Berry here. I just have to worry about not getting crit. So the plan here is I'm going to tail whip coughing twice to lower its defenses, and then I'm going to flame charge it twice, and that's another 90-some% range, so we're just going to hope that all goes well there. And then, okay, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm just going to heal to full. Because I do need to take a hit from... Or I do need to spend a turn on Whirlipede, which is Roxy's ace, to set up a tail whip, and then get into Blaze. This does make things interesting, though. I can actually do this. So I'll live. I won't live. That's silly of me. So I could do double flame charge there because I didn't equip the Pecha Berry. Unfortunately, I got the 30% poison point, and because Roxy has poison point, when you deal contact, you have a chance to get poisoned, and then Venoshock will just completely own you. So that is another classic Pokemon moment. You bank on a 30% not happening, and it does. So what can you do? So if it doesn't feel like we're stuck in the movie Groundhog Day yet, welcome to Pokemon.
It's the same, yet somehow different.
Somehow, just ever so slightly different. Hey, this is just more time to get your donations in for the Drillbur incentive. So, I mean, you know, why do you keep having this thing with critting me? I'm just getting my my experience worth. I haven't had a bad Roxy gym like this in a minute, so this is just getting my money's worth out of the trip down here. All right, so something, we get Flame Charge for Grimer, something. I don't have Blaze this time. I did lose my Pecha to Poison, right? So let's do that. And then let's not get owned by Grimer for the second time. We should get a whiteboard tally going of how many times I died in this gym, because that might get substantial for some reason. All right, so I'm gonna tail whip. Hopefully I get a pound into Blaze. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that is obnoxious, but fine. I'm just gonna get Grimer off the field first. And then I will live if I heal one berry. And I don't have any more little potions, so I'm just gonna go to full and 3-hit this, which is slightly slower, but also I don't have an antidote, so I really need to not get poisoned. Okay, this is fine. Sometimes you can just run out of Pechas, and if you're still poisoned, that's another reset because you just don't have a way to get rid of poison. So that's really awkward when that happens too. So fortunately, that did not happen. All right. This time for realsies.
We got this. Come on, TTS, and let's go chat and get those donations in. We'll read a couple after this fight.
All right, so let's not get, like, crit to tomorrow with this coughing. That was 2 crits in a row, 1 and 256. Like,
play nice, Dogars. Come on.
It's like this thing has the special ability Super Luck or something, which raises your critical hit chance by 1 stage, so it goes down to like 1 and 8 or something. All right, this is a little bit better of a fight. This is what I expect to see coming out of coughing here. So now I'm just above living Venoshock, So I'm just going to tail whip it to get it to -1, and then it'll throw me down into low blaze, which will let me one-shot it. All right, now we're fine. This is fine. Even though I'm poisoned, this is fine. All right. That was a bit of a struggle, but 2 down, 6 to go.
We got there. I've got $20 from DJ Fatso that says, conventions are temporary, Bone Club is forever. Bone Club is up on the leaderboard now for that Drillbird name. It's $17 behind Pig Egg. You got plenty of time to get those donations in and change it. Also got $7 from Cassasaur that says, $7 for my favorite Pokemon, Squirtle. Thanks to VGMCon and Midwest Speedfest for another awesome weekend. It was an honor to be back as a volunteer and as a runner. Hooray!
Hooray!
And what timing with that match drop?
I know, right? Such celebratory music for those awesome donations. Keep them coming. All right, so the nice thing about how the EXP routing works out is Tepig actually evolves at level 17, but when we leave the fight, we're actually level 18. Because when Tepig evolves into Pig Knight at level 17, it wants to learn Arm Thrust. So a nice little, like, just, it happens to work out part of the routing for this game is just that you get to evolve Tepig at level 18, and then you don't have to see the Arm Thrust teach, which is really nice. How much do you guys like movies? You guys like watching movies?
Somewhat?
Somewhat? Okay. Well, let me tell you that we're going to be watching an absolute blockbuster of a movie real shortly here. I think it'll top the box office. I don't know about you guys. I've seen this movie about 1,500 times, and I just can't stop watching it. It's so good.
I'll just be ready to be Crow in the front row, just ready for it.
So this is Pokestar Studios. This is a mandatory side area that they really want to make sure that you understand very well how it works. So this is kind of the biggest down point of the run before anything really crazy starts to happen, which is kind of unfortunate because it's also right before when we catch Drillbur, which is kind of the big early game reset point if you haven't died to a crit 3 times before this point, as I have. There's also never a really good bathroom break in here because you're always mashing. So you're just kind of stuck spending a good 7 or 8 minutes just mashing A and B. Because another thing about Gen 5 is this is the one generation that doesn't let you also have the L button to mash as well. So you're always kind of mashing only A and B, and that's kind of a hindrance compared to any other runner and any other gen that's used to being able to set A equals L, which lets you have L as an additional mashing button, so you can mash quickly with having more buttons. I've just gotten used to it because I nosedived straight into Gen 5 right away when I started speedrunning Pokemon, so I'm just really used to mashing A and B. But I hope you guys will enjoy Bryson Man, Midlife Man of Justice versus Bryson Man.
Bryson Man, he's a legend.
Oh, there's also closed captioning. I just hope you can read fast enough. I just want it to speak for itself because I think this movie is wonderful. It's not nice to do bad things, guys. I hope you have no use for ideals or dreams either.
And it's not bad to do nice things.
That's right. Will the hero save the day? Air Slash, that's super effective. What's happening? The hero lost? I've never seen that in a movie before where the hero just loses. That's it? I mean, did you guys think that movie was really good? Top the charts, A+, 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh. So, a nice thing about these credits too, unfortunately I got the slow credits, but there are 3 different versions of these credits. There's one where the credits scroll on the right, like you just saw there. There's one where, crazy, the credits scroll on the left side. But then there's a third faster one that could happen, which is basically just the credits take up the whole screen. I don't know why that one's just faster, but you know, I can't complain about saving time. It's just unfortunate it's a 1 in 3 to happen. So at least I assume it's a 1 in 3. I don't really know the RNG behind the credits. So, but now that we have watched a movie in action. For some reason, after beating Roxy, just a talent scout has decided that we are the next star of PokeStar Studios. So we got shown what it's like to watch a movie. Now we get to shoot our own. So we get to be Rio Luman now and shoot our own movie. Which also means we get to meet our absolute idol, Bryson. I'm kind of fangirling right now over Bryson. Bryson, for those who don't know, was a gym leader in Black White 1, the prequels, and then have become a movie star for some reason. I don't know what that's all about. I haven't brushed up on my Bulbapedia trivia. But now we're going to shoot our own movie. We're going to be using rentals because it's faster. I also don't think you get a choice off rip to use your own. I think they force you to use a rental anyway. But rentals is faster regardless. So. Anyway, this is going to look really similar, just on a green screen. I'm going to try something bold. I'm going to Ice Punch the Pawniard, and surely that will kill it. Oh, no. Oh, no, I died. Anyway. So that's enough filming for the day. Because we are using Ice Punch, there is a chance that we freeze the Pawniard, and then there is a chance that the Pawniard unfreezes in the same turn. The thing about getting frozen there is if Pawniard stays frozen, the director gets really confused about what's going on and cuts filming short, which actually is the fastest way to get out of that. But because Ice Punch is a 10% to freeze, it's pretty rare to happen, and it's also 20% to unthaw, so you could just get criminally good RNG that ends up being really bad for you because you just lose time watching the freeze and then unthaw text. But a nice thing about the battles, at least, is that the text moves really, really fast. The battle engine is very snappy in these games, so even losing a turn isn't like the end of the world, but you'll definitely, you know, still get grumpy over losing turns and whatnot. So
you're saying the health bars don't move at a snail's pace like the generation before it?
No, they fixed that, actually. It's actually lightning fast.
What a great addition.
Yeah, even Blissies go down in just a couple seconds compared to a minute and a half.
Oh, hi, Maxie.
So now we got to deal with some Team Plasma shenanigans. We haven't seen these guys in a while, so you know, got to have our typical bad guy is standing around, and because they're bad, we're gonna go beat them up. So because I have Blaze leaving the gym, I can just one-shot these things with Flame Charge, and I'm just gonna beg that I don't get stuck. Okay, detect. That's fine. Please hit. Okay, that's fine. I didn't want to die, so fortunately, it only used detect once, and I had enough health to deal with that. Since you do get a big health jump after Roxy, so I can tank a couple of poisons before it becomes an issue.
And while we're learning, grabbing that cut, TM, I want to make sure that we know I have the real standings here. So now I have Bone Club in the lead at 104 with Pig Egg behind it at 100. Still a little bit of time left to get in, but we're quickly running out of time if you want to change that character name.
All right, so I'm going to be trying to do a little bit of a setup here for pass Lynn again, because I don't want to fight any more trainers than I have to. And I don't have to fight her if she's, if I get past her safely, so. She's facing away, that's perfect. So I'm just going to do one walk into her vision there. The menu is just to check to make sure that she's still facing away, so I'm not just blindly gambling running into her sight. Lynn is a spinner, which means she looks in multiple directions, and then she's also one that can hear you coming. So if you are running anywhere near her, she will turn to try to look at you. If I was to run that one down into her vision, even though she's facing away, regardless of how long it was going to be before she span. Anyway, she was just immediately going to turn to me and ignore like her spinning timer because she hears me. So that's what that's all about. I'm going to try and also pass her on the way back now, doing the same thing. I'm just going to run right up to her and then do a menu to check. As long as I have done all my menu flashing and tucking to that grunt as close to frame perfect as possible, this should be a safe pass. So I'm going to get right outside of her vision here. And you see there, she just turned quickly. I would not have had time to react to that if I was just going to blindly run into it. So you can do another setup for those spinners that will hear you out. So that was called step back, which is basically you go 2 tiles away from their vision that you intend to like cross them through. And then you do 1 step as you see them turn. That is a trolley youngster. And then flash the menu, and if they're still facing away, then you know you have enough time to walk into her tile, and then you can run out of it, and as a little bit of swag so that she turns to try to like see you, even though you're out of her vision at that point. So it's a very consistent way. It works for all of Gen 4 and 5, so if you're in your casual playthrough, you really don't want to fight someone that's spinning around, you know, that's a very simple trick to do. As long as, you know, you're pretty decent with reaction times, it's pretty simple to do. So now we're heading to Castelia City, so we're getting pretty close to locking down our Drillbur incentive here, so this is kind of a last call to get in what you can. You got about 5 minutes, I would say.
We're on a boat, and I got $5 from Sean Hansen. Says, I'm up on the boss stage right now, but we're so close. Musical Daredevil says hi.
Hello. Alright, so this is Castelia City. This is the city that blowed everyone's mind, probably, when they played Gen 5 for the first time with the big scale of the city on this tiny little DS compared to Pokemon games before, where it's always like 3 buildings in a center. This one's a little more advanced than that, so always interesting. For some reason, this clown is giving out bikes. I don't know if I fully trust this bike. I don't know who this guy is. He's just kindly giving me a bicycle. It is appreciated though, because getting the bicycle obviously lets us move very, very, very fast. But also, in Black White 1, you get the bike much later. Actually, not until you get to the next town after Castelia, which means that you're basically just running around this whole city without a bike, which just sucks. So thankfully, in Black White 2, they fixed that and let you get the bike as soon as you get to the city so that you can bike around really, really quickly. Of note, there's a little bit of a new route change to White 2 that happened early. That happened last year / this year. My timeline always gets fuzzy as soon as it's not today. But there's been a bit of a new route change to White 2. So normally you would see me go around and talking to a bunch of clowns that are meant to be kind of like tour guides. I don't know why tour guides are dressed up as the clowns. I feel like that would just make people not want to come back for anyone who's afraid of clowns. But, you know, whatever, I guess. So if you talk to all 3 of them, you get a rare candy as you leave Castelia City when you talk to like the last one to like check in on your clown adventures. But this new route actually has us skipping that rare candy and manipping one that we'll get later. The deal with that is it makes the mid-game a little bit scarier, but it ends up saving about 25-ish seconds, which is pretty huge for a run as optimized as White 2, or at least as seemingly optimized as White 2, and before we finally got the capabilities of looking for more seeds. Because when it came to seed searching, kind of our biggest limitation was always the number of key presses that we were allowed to search with in some of the tools that were available to us at the time. But thankfully there are some, albeit very difficult to use, some tools made from some Japanese RNG people that let you search up to like 8 key presses. So you can have some like really wonky, like right up L, you know, some kind of really messy key press combination to get what you want. But because there's just so many more key combinations that you're allowed to search, the amount of seeds that you get just shoots way up. So that lets us find seeds that have good tepics, that also have reasonably obtainable Psyduck and Pidove, as well as a rare candy in what's known as a hidden grotto. So there'll be more on that later. I am confused. That is interesting. I hit through confusion. That's all right. It doesn't
I'm
actually.
always confused.
Welcome to Pokemon, right? So this is a fight. This is known as like a true double because I am only using one Pokemon. Hugh is providing the other one. So when it comes to fights like that, in Generation 5, if I like completely like wiped and lost all my Pokemon, it's not a big deal because Hugh can finish the fight and I'm still credited for winning the fight. And I actually get a free heal after the fight since Hugh was also following me because just like with like the followers in like Gen 4, once you finish a fight, you get a free heal. So I'm now full health and got rid of poison, even though there's absolutely no indication that that happened. Which is also really nice because I'm going to be catching our new main here. So you got like 1 or 2 minutes at most. I would click that donate button now if you can. So I'm going to be setting up here for the RNG manipulation to catch the Drillbur. I do have to do a quick save and quit because I do need to reset the time here. So I'm just going to be setting it to our time for our Drillbur. It's that and that. So then now it'll be a matter of holding some special buttons. Mine are actually really easy for all my manips, which is really nice. So then now I'm going to be manipulating Drillbur. So Drillbur spawns in dust clouds, so I'm going to be manipulating those phenomenon that I mentioned, where every 20 steps there's a small chance for them to appear. So I'm going to be making one appear in the next room here. I do a save in this room because it's quiet, so it lets me kind of do what I need to set up. And then I'm just going to get on the bike, and here's Drillbur.
And what are the odds it wrecks you with Rock Slide immediately?
Fortunately, it doesn't have Rock Slide, but it does have Dig. Dig is a 9 and 16 to kill you. Unless you got some extra XP, then it's a little bit better, but still, it's not a great time. We don't really fully understand how battle RNG works, but we do kind of a pseudo manip to make sure that it doesn't click Dig turn 1. If you go through that far of a process to like find a Drillbur that doesn't do that. And I'm gonna need that name.
All right, and that name is Bone Club.
Bone Club. Any caps, spaces?
It's all caps, 2 words.
2
Bone
words, all
Club.
caps. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna go to QWERTY so I can. Bone Club, just like this.
You got it.
Alrighty, where's my enter key? There it is.
We're headed to the Bone Club and to the end of this run. We still got plenty of time to get donations in for that Cynthia fight incentive. We got a ways to go and a lot of run to go. Oh wow, that's just the end of the marathon too. So let's get that through. Let's push to that $5,000 goal and get the money in for the awesome P-Fund Foundation.
That's right. So that that catch was about a coin flip, a little bit better than using Flame Charge. I thought about YOLO balling for the swag, but after all of the, let's call it shenanigans that happened in Roxy's gym, I figured I would just go for the better catch rate just to try to keep things moving here. So, so this Drillbur is absolutely stacked. It is perfect in every stat except for special attack, which is just good enough for the one fight that we use special attack for. It is manipped to have the ability Sand Force, again, for one specific fight. Which is also happens to be the same fight. More on that later, but it's also manipped to be a female because there are a handful of attract users in this run, so having a female just gives us the best risk reward for who we have to deal with attract on. Unfortunately, the one fight that we have to deal with attract on really sucks, especially with the new route changes, but it's better than dealing with 2 attracts and one of them being the Elite Four. So that's a lot of you know, it basically just weighs itself to deal with the one attract you have to deal with as female because it's a lot earlier in the run. So you know, you just reset earlier if you get abysmally screwed or what have you. So we picked up the EXP share to give to Drillbur. Drillbur absolutely sucks in this gym, even though that we have a kitted Drillbur. Drillbur just doesn't really come with a great moveset. So we kind of have to help it along a little bit. So that's why we gave it the EXP share. Drillbur is going to see some action while fighting Berg because we need to get it a little more experience. So there's gonna be a little bit trickier of a Berg fight, just because they have to do some swapping around to, get that extra XP on Drillbur. The fight has gotten better with this new route change that skips picking up the candy here, because it also actually lets us not have to have Drillbur see every single poke that Berg has. The old route would make sure that Drillbur sees all 3 of Berg's pokes, so it gets the extra XP for participating in battle. But with this new route, Drillbur does not have to see the first of Berg's pokes, which is a Swadloon. So that lets us save a little bit of time as an extra bonus to this route compared to all the other negatives that happen, which I'll get into later, because trust me, there's a whole section dedicated to the cons. So, but anyway, I'm just basically hitting everything with Flame Charge and Ember here just to weaken them down. I did heal Pig Knight to full as safety because that was a really damaging Fury Swipes from Drillbur. I think that was a full 5 that it did to me, so I just healed to be on the safer side. You can typically get away with not healing Pig Knight, but I want to be safe, so I'm going to weaken this thing with Ember first, just because it has Sturdy, so I can't one-shot it, even if I wanted to.
Heat weapon.
It's also really bulky, so thankfully nothing bad happened there. It does have Sand Attack, which is really annoying, because then your 100% accurate moves become 75% accurate, and then if you miss that and it picks Sand Attack again, then your 75% odds becomes even less and less and less. I have recently been completely screwed over before by that Dwebble, so.
And can I say I very much question the physics on everything we just did?
Yeah, I don't want to get into it.
But here's one thing I do want to get to, and this is a $15 donation from Diamond Crafter A. That's this marathon has been a blast. Let's meet this Fight Cynthia incentive with the amazing White 2 run going just a little bit longer. Good luck for the rest of the run, TTS4life, and may the crits be ever in your favor.
Boy, do I need them in my favor. Anyway, so I did a safety save there, just because if I die, I wipe all the way back to Aspersia, which is a long haul back. Also, just in case something really, really wonky happens here. It's very, very unlikely to happen, but you just never know with Berg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weaken it with Flame Charge, just to break that Sturdy and just to make things a little bit easier for our Bone Club here. I have to try to get in the habit of calling it Bone Club.
Bone Club.
So it'll finish Dwebble and 2 Rock Claws, or Metal Claws from here now. That's an interesting crit. Thank you for that. I didn't ask for it. See, that's why we save, just in case of like really wonky things. I'm gonna have to probably heal Bone Club at some point now from that crit, unfortunately. But fortunately, I did not miss Metal Claw, which is 95% accurate, and I didn't throw Berg into heal range because the AI will heal if they're poke. Ooh, actually, that's useful. Okay, that was actually really useful to get Blaze there. From full, I would have not gotten Blaze, but the crit Razor Leaf was actually helpful, so that was a crit in my favor. 3 down, 5 to go. So,
hooray!
So where was I? So the AI will heal if its poke falls below 25% HP rounded down. So you don't want to have that happen, obviously, because it's time loss. So that's why I'm kind of balancing what was going on there with Bone Club a little bit. I almost said Drillbur. I can't be saying Drillbur anymore. So I'm gonna swap Bone Club to the front now because it's going to be our absolute main for the rest of the run now. Say goodbye to Pig Knight when we drop it off at the box later. I'm going to heal it to full just for safety since I took a little too much damage to get through the next 2 fights without it at some point, so I may as well while I'm there. So, what else is going on? Oh, everyone's favorite character. Say hello to Chorus. So Chorus is going to be checking out our Bone Club and decides that he wants to see the power of Bone Club. So we're going to have to go out and fight him here. So
You know, running through all of his experiments and sending 2 cards to the lost zone.
That's right.
I'm a little pilled, sorry.
This isn't TCG. What are you doing, Bungie?
I can't help myself.
All right, so Bianca's going to give us the dowsing machine, which isn't useful because we know where all the hidden items are that we need anyway.
Well, I don't.
Well, I'm going to show you, so make sure you pay attention to the rest of the run and get those donations in.
And I take notes and look for those donations. Let's get some more of those, chat. Get more of those in, chat. Let's just take a look at how much further we have to go for Cynthia. We have $79 in out of 300, which means there's a donation I should be reading, right? In fact, yes, I've got $25 from Holly that says, "This was my first Midwest Speedfest, and I had a wonderful time. Thank you to everyone involved for the great event. Let's hit that $5,000.
That's right.
And then I've got $11 from Soulmass with no comment, but thank you so much.
All right, so this one fight is the reason that we are that we have the ability Sandforce. So Sandforce boosts the power of ground type moves in a Sandstorm, and this is the one fight that we do on this route. That is an unfortunate crit because now, why are you critting these crits? I swear to God.
You get a crit. I get a crit. Everyone gets a crit.
That's what it's been feeling like so far this run. Let me tell you, Bungie. So yeah, unfortunately that procs sturdy and also makes Chorus heal. So yeah, Sandforce is the reason why. This fight is the reason why I have Sandforce, because Mudslap would not reliably two-shot otherwise. So that's why we like to have Sandforce. The other ability that Bone Club can have is Sand Rush, which boosts your speed in a Sandstorm, and we outspeed everything anyway, so it doesn't really benefit us too much. So that's why ideally that we have the Sandforce. So a little bit of movement here. This is gonna be a little tricky sometimes just because of the lag. Fortunately, it's clean. I played this game a lot. Can you tell?
I just wanted to break the mold, but Sandforce is good too.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mold Breaker is a hidden ability, and there's no reasonable way to get Drillbur's hidden ability in the means of this run. So
it would also be hilariously slow.
Yeah, because you would see the Mold Breaker text at the beginning of every battle. It's the reason why you don't want something like Intimidate or Pressure for your main in the fight. So this is Join Avenue. This is kind of another like force tutorial. This one's really short, thankfully. This one's just telling us all about how we can collaborate with other people whenever you like do trades with people or like do whatever multiplayer shenanigans were available in Gen 5 at the time. It's been so long since those were available that I forget what most of them are, but it allows basically other people to come visit your Join Avenue, and you can like level up shops and stuff and have people set up different shops there. There's also like what's called a raffle shop that lets you get Master Balls, but unfortunately the RNG research behind Join Avenue is very limited for my research, so there's not really a good way to try to manip Master Balls out of the out of Join Avenue, and unfortunately we already have our main, so getting another Master Ball just doesn't really make sense, sadly.
And if we could all join together for a collective pouring one out, F in chat, or whatever way, holding up a candle for the DS and Wii U servers that are no longer with us.
Yes, rip the 3DS and Wii U servers that just died almost a week ago now, isn't it?
It's been too long.
I honestly, shoutouts to Pretendo and the other services that emulate those so we can still enjoy online after they've long shut down. But anyway, we have a Blitzel. This Blitzel speed ties us. It can crit us. I will live a crit. It picked Pursuit, which doesn't do as much damage, so lucky for us. I have died to losing the speed tie and then getting crit by this Blitzel before it on good pace. It was very, very punishing and very, very sad. But now I'm just, it kind of seems really strange that I'm turning on and off that button for the coaster to like set the track for it to come here, and then I turned it off so it doesn't come here, and then I turned it back on. That just makes it so that this coaster is a little bit quicker on its cycles and lets me get the optimal cycles through here. Don't ask me how it works. I don't know.
And here I thought I was supposed to study.
Well, some things are just a theory. Not a game theory, just a theory.
Pokemon White 2 theory?
Sure, White 2 theory. Yes, there you go. Okay, so this Flaffy is the first of many Pokemon that we're going to have to deal with that have static. Since the next gym is electric, we get to have a lot of fun with static, which is a 30% chance for me to get paralyzed. I'm going to heal it basically as soon as I get it always because I'm going to be using Dig, which is a 2-turn move, which means being paralyzed has a... it gets to do like the do I lose a turn to para check twice, and my my Dig PP is very, very tight through this section, so I'm going to want to make sure that I use them all efficiently and perfectly. So losing a turn to para during Dig is just not good.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut you off here because we have a very hype moment with the newest donation. We have reached our goal of $5,000.
Let's go.
And that was off a $76 donation from the Toter that says, "What an amazing tropical vacation! Great job made by Speedfest and Warp Stage, and thanks everyone who performed, presented, volunteered, and attended and watched the event. Cheers to 10 years of VGM." Hooray!
Hooray! Now, we hit our 5,000 goal, but it doesn't mean you should stop. Keep those donations coming. We still got to get the Cynthia, right?
Yeah, we still have a ways to go on the Cynthia.
That's right. So make sure you get those incentives met. You want to fight the best girl, right?
I know I want to see this fight because if my Pearl experience is anything like this, it must be absolutely terrifying.
it can be obnoxious. So we're gonna do a little bit of PC management here. I'm gonna do that. Say goodbye to Pig Knight. He did his job. We also did some shopping. We got some paralyzed heals because we're gonna need to heal a lot of para. Some hypers now that we can actually buy them, along with revives for safety. Also because we're just actually gonna need to use revives at some point. So also talk to that guy to pick up red shards. Shards are useful for move tutors, and we're gonna be actually using one to teach a really nice move to Bone Club later. So, but focusing on now, there are a lot of paralyzed chances. I believe there's 7 at least. So the less paras, the better. I encourage everyone to donate, like, let's say $5 for every para. How about that? You know, get some money in for that Cynthia incentive.
Let's keep that rolling. And shout out to this being VGM Con because boy, does this soundtrack slap or what?
Yeah, the DJs in this gym is just killing it. I love it. Got the Flaffy range there. That was 11 and 16 range because I'm not level 24 yet. Even killing the Elekid first wouldn't have mattered. The AI is smart enough to realize that Elekid has no attacking moves to me, so all I can do is sit there and spam light screen. There's one static. So we're at $5. So, where was I? So the Elekids can't attack me, and the AI is actually smart enough to realize that it can't do anything. So sometimes it'll swap the Flaffy right away. Sometimes Elekid will stay out. It's actually better if Elekid stays out because then you don't have to see the swapping anims all the time. So unfortunately, we got the swap right away, which is kind of expected. So this is the worst static to get before Elisa, because it means I'm going to have to heal before Elisa. I'm parried. Why did I not heal para? I'm going to heal para now. I completely forgot about that detail that I'm paralyzed and should heal it. Usually you heal in between battles if you can, but not a big deal. Surely, okay, well, there's 2 statics. There's $10. So again, I have to heal this right away, and then I can use Dig on this. So the reason that's an issue, because now I give Blitzel an opportunity to attack me a couple times, which means now I'm going to have to heal before Elisa. But it's not the end of the world that I have to heal before Elisa, because it also means that I can use the protein that Colress gave me. So on top of IVs, which are, as I said, on a scale of 0 to 31 to tell how good that stat is, there's also EVs, which you are awarded for killing Pokemon, and each Pokemon species has a certain type and amount of EVs that it'll give out for each of the 6 stats. So like in the gym, for example, I believe these are all like special attack EVs, so they're completely useless to me, but using the protein gives me 10 attack EVs, which can help me improve some ranges on a couple fights, so I'm going to go ahead and use that as soon as I get the opportunity to. I don't always get the opportunity to before Lisa. In this case, I am, because I'm at such low health that I have no choice, but it also gives me the excuse to do it because it'll let me get some better ranges on some of the more awkward mid-game fights here. Alright, so 2 statics so far. So the average is 2 statics, so if I get more than 2, then oh boy, are we in for a treat. I bought 6, and it is very statistically unlikely to get 6. Actually, it would be impossible from here because I only have 2, and there's 3 more static hits that we could have. So we could have 5. Very unlikely to get 5, though. But, I mean, there's 3 30% from here, so do the math. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that healing, and I'm also going to use the protein while I'm at it. Protein is right there. So the plan for Elisa is just to set up Home Claws. Home Claws lets me boost my accuracy and attack by 1 stage, which is actually really clutch, because we're going to be learning Rock Slide in a little bit, which is 90 accurate. But anytime that we get to set up Home Claws to use Rock Slide, we are in heaven. Because otherwise that 90% feels a lot more like 60%.
And there's a Moga, and somewhere in Texas, Pulse Effects cries.
That's right. So, gonna set up Hone Claws here. I'm gonna use Slash once and hope I get a really good roll here on Slash. I'd say that's a pretty good roll.
Yeah.
So that's a really good scenario to be in, where you just crit one-shot the Amolga. That is about a 66% on a crit to do that. So I'm going to heal up.
We did the math, and it spelled doom for that Emolga at Midwest Speedfest.
That's right. So I'm going to heal here because Flaffy can only attack me with Takedown, which is 85 accurate. So if it misses, then I just get more health out of it. And there's 3 statics, so that is the last of the statics that we could have. So I expect some $15 donations to start rolling in. Let's do it. I will match at the end of the run. I can't multitask that well. So we're going to go ahead and para-heal here. That's not a crit. I should be just fine. That was a little scary, but all good. And we're at the halfway point by gyms, I will note. So 4 down, 4 to go.
All right, as we wowed and Elisa Sparkle, first off, hooray! And I have a $150 donation from Maddie Inc.
Whew.
Thanks all for the great event. Here's to another great event and to many more in the future.
That's right. Alrighty, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of menuing here to heal up, just because I want to be really safe. Because these next couple fights are gonna be something. So, we're gonna be taking care of 2 plasma grunts who are, quote, just standing around. Why do you hate us?
They're just standing there menacingly.
That's right. Man, my little heals are dire. That'll be interesting. So these 2 grunts have a Trubbish first, which isn't really a big issue. We can take care of it with Dig, no problem. But then we have to deal with a Watchog. Now, for anyone who knows what about Pokemon, I'm just going to list off this moveset, and I'll let you know how fun you think this fight is just based on that moveset. So the first move is Super Fang, which cuts your health in half. There's also Hypnosis and Confuse Ray. So if that sounds like a great time, you'd be right.
This music sounds like a great time.
This soundtrack is a great time. So basically, I'm going to be using Dig turn 1 against Watchhog, and then just praying that I don't get put to sleep, I don't get confused, and if I get confused, I hit through it, and if it picks Hypnosis, it misses. So there's just a whole, like, really annoying decision tree of chances here of just not getting screwed over into turning this Watchhog. Also throwing in
trees. That's Pokemon speedrunning.
That's right.
Which also reminds me of a time where I decided I will trade alt main route Emolga in Sword and Shield. There's a flowchart for the Melanie fight.
Oh, yeah.
It's also a bad idea. Don't do it.
Yeah, that sounds rough. All right, so we got Super Fang, so that's the best case, because that just means Watchhog is free from there on out. Since it only cuts your current HP in half, there's no worry about getting crit and dying. In fact, it can never really kill you because of Super Fang, unless you hit yourself in Confusion, which is a way more common way to die in this fight, and a really unfortunate one, because then you have to send out something like Pit of to try to make up for that. But then, you know, it has to hit itself in Confusion. And because you can get put to sleep, you know, you could be waiting an awful while for that Confusion self-hit to actually happen because you're just, you're snoozing. So Bianca's going to teach us about hidden grottos, which is something that we're going to sneak our way into in a little bit. So hidden grottos, how they work is every 256 steps from either like continuing the game, like continuing your save after you like do a save and quit, or from the very beginning of the game until you like save and quit and whatnot. Every 256 steps, basically, there's a small chance for these grottos to decide to populate with something. It can be a wild Pokemon with its hidden ability. It can be a bunch of items. Sometimes those items are hidden. A lot of the time you get really crummy items like mulch, which I don't even really know what the mulch is useful for in this game. I can't think of any like gardening mechanics whatsoever, but you can get mulch. That's the most common thing you'll see. But you can also get really useful items like item balls and heals and some vitamins and Evo stones and a lot of really cool stuff. We're actually going to get a rare candy from one. Unfortunately, we can't manip that one because as part of like the tutorial sequence, Bianca has to show us the Minccino in there, so the game forces a Minccino in there regardless of what was in there before. So unfortunately, we can't manip that one, which would be really nice if we could, because that would open up some interesting stuff as well. But this is Charles the Heartbreaker, because he is very well known to break hearts. Whoops, I said no to you. I meant to say yes to you. So this is the one of 2 triple battles that we have to do, which is mandatory in order to finish the run. So triple battles are 3-on-3s instead of 2-on-2s. The Pokemon on the way diagonal of each other can't see each other. So Tortuga can't see me, which is really nice because it has Aqua Jet. This is where I'm going to be using my X attack despite having Hone Claws, because I can't really afford to give Charles more turns than he's already getting. Air Cutter, that's unfortunate. I would have liked Psybeam. I at least did not miss Archon. Archon is like one of the really bad ways to lose this fight because it has Ancient Power and it has Agility to become faster. This is a goated Charles fight.
Shoutouts to Splash.
That's right. So here we're finally learning Rock Slide, which what we would use if we were on the old route, but because of the new route, delaying when we get the candy until after Charles, that means that we're at a little lower level, so we can't quite get Rock Slide to take care of the Archon and the Sigilif. So, but we beat Charles, so that is a victory on its own. The crit Sigi was really good because Sigi's a range to kill with Slash, so just getting a crit there just shuts it down, and because I shut it down in one turn, it's even better. So with that in mind, now we can go to Driftvale City, which is everyone's favorite city theme because of the It's just an iconic theme. It became a meme for a while because of like the toothless dancing. I'm sure everyone will recognize this theme, whether or not they've played Pokemon or not, in an instant. So we're going to be spending quite a bit of time in here. We're going to watch these two duke it out fisticuffs because the old grunts from Black White 1 have sworn off doing bad things. That was a nice knuckle sandwich from Hugh. So the new Team Plasma is trying to get the old Team Plasma to join them because the old Team Plasma doesn't like what the new Team Plasma is doing, which is basically evil stuff because the old guys have kind of seen their ways after everything fell apart. So now we have to fight Rude, but we're going to take a little bit of a detour before we fight Rude. I'm going to go ahead and heal everything because I'm going to need them for later. I'm going to full heal up Drillbur because he's going to have a fantastic time with this next fight.
Heal your Bone Club.
That's right. So this is the Hidden Grotto here. If all went well, I should have a candy in here. I really hope there's a candy in here. Okay, there's a candy in here. That is very good.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Because there's no way you can tell if you actually get the candy in there until you get there and find out the cold hard truth if you screwed up your Manip. Fortunately, I held Manip long enough so that it wasn't an issue. I'm actually going to do a safety save for this fight too, just because I'm a little short on heals. I can probably make up heals with my last shopping later, but for how well this fight can go, and I'm not super derusted on it, so I'm just going to take it as safe as possible. I don't want to have to go back and fight Charles again either if things go really awry. So this Herdier hits like a truck. I'm basically just going to be clicking Rock Slide and just praying that I hit because it's 90% accurate. I'm also going to be hoping that this Herdier takes a little bit of takedown recoil so that I can one-shot it. But it's not guaranteed that takedown lands or that it picks takedown. I'm just going to crit everything and have a wonderful day. I don't know about you. I'm having a great time.
Crits for everyone! Crit party!
I'm just hyping up everything to be like really terrible, and then I'm just getting crits. And I'm getting an air cutter miss. So I'm just going to walk out of this at full health. That is a Rude of all time.
Bone Club will not be denied.
I should start nicknaming it like Bone Club in my actual runs if I'm going to get this good of a mid-game. Like, holy smokes. This mid-game has been absolutely insane. But now we got to get caught up on the lore because we're not the same protagonist as Black White 1, and this is a continuation of the story from Black White 1. So Rude is going to kind of give us a huge exposition dump here about the fun stuff that Team Plasma did 2 years ago is where we are in the timeline. He's also going to offer us a Zorua. As cute as Zorua is, unfortunately, it is not useful for us to pick up, and we really only want 3 Pokemon in our party because we don't want to have to spend extra time taking out everything in our party during the triple battles in this run just because that's really slow, and we don't want to give other things experience because that takes away from Bone Club, and it also... I didn't candy yet. It also makes our time a lot slower because we're stuck watching them level up forever. Because as fast as the battles are in this generation, the EXP bar going up is not. So no XP is better for anything that's not Bone Club.
All right, we're ready for Shield. Let's go.
That's right. This is Shield now. This was Shield before Shield. All right, so now that Drillbur is actually a Excadrill, I'm sorry, Bone Club is now a Bone Club 2. I can teach it Iron Head. So Iron Head is a very powerful move. We get Stab, which is same time attack bonus because we are now also Steel type. So Iron Head just does a ton of damage, as well as gives us a flinch chance. So this game is passionately referred to as the flinch game because we have Rock Slide and Iron Head, which are both 30% chance to flinch, which means that we can flinch a lot of things. We won't flinch the things that we want to flinch. We'll just flinch a lot of things.
Bone Club 2, all crit boogaloo.
That's right. So this gym, despite having a really boppin' theme, doesn't have a whole lot going on as far as gym trainers. These are all just spam Ironhead. It's not technically faster to run up to this guy like this, but it is swag, so you gotta get the swag points in there. The reason I don't go out of my way to talk to this guy is even if I talk to him, he would still get like the little exclamation mark animation above his head, which is the whole reason why you would want to talk to a trainer instead of run in front of them, is to skip that whole like exclamation mark thing and just like cut straight to the chase. For a long time, we thought it was faster to just run in front of this one, but it actually is worth it to talk to this one despite the exclamation marks. So shout out to Minnow for finding that like minor optimization.
It just goes to show how the large collaborative effort that Pokemon speedrunning is in general. So many different people combine in saying, hey, what if we try this? What if we try that? What minor optimization can we make at this point? Because over a 3.5-hour run, there are so many micro decisions being made while we follow the route that we put together to say, okay, how can we save time here? What can we do to make sure that this is optimized? How can we make this as safe as possible while still making it as fast as possible? And sometimes safety just isn't the thing.
That's right. So yeah, it's a very collaborative thing when it comes to speedrunning Pokemon. Lots of changes to the route, especially this route over the last couple months. Me and Minnow worked really hard. Minnow is the current world record holder, so he and I did a lot of cooking basically on some of the stuff that culminated into this new hidden grotto candy route where we could finally use that candy to save just running around and having to talk to all the clowns because it's so slow because there's a lot of elevators. Just such a heavy detour compared to the detour that we have to get that hidden grotto candy as you saw, but at the same time, the risk goes way up because you're a little lower level during that whole section. But if you just crit everything like I did, like it's not a problem. Yes, so this is Yeehaw, man. We have to get rid of Intimidate right away, so I'm going to send out Azurill to take one for the team. Everyone say rip Azurill.
No!
So that lets us get our attack back. The reason we can't really just like use Home Claws to get back to like neutral is because everything in Clay's gym has Bulldoze, which drops your speed, and I cannot afford to be slower than anything, especially this Sand Slash, because this Sand Slash is a 2-shot. Unfortunately, I did not get the flinch there. I did get a really good roll on Ironhead here. It is not guaranteed to kill the Sand Slash, and if I don't kill the Sand Slash, it is basically game over for the run. Why did you pick Crush Claw? Sometimes I don't understand Gen 5 AI. So the deal with Gen 5 AI, I guess I haven't really explained that, is typically you can expect the AI to pick a move that it thinks will kill you. In this case, it would be Bulldoze, which is Sand Slash's strongest move, because it is a range to 2-shot me. If not slightly, no, it's a range to 2-shot me. So I'd want to pick Bulldoze, especially if it gets a high roll, because typically what the AI would do in other generations is it would look at Hooray! 5 down, 3 to go. So typically the AI would look at the strongest damage roll that move could do and decide, oh, this would kill. I would pick the move. So you may be at a range to die, but it might be like the 1 in 16 max roll or something. So you can kind of bet on not dying, even though you're in kill range, or you can kind of bet on the AI. Like you could just safely bet that the AI is going to pick that move because you're in range to die to it. However, in Gen 5, they changed that for some reason. Instead of going off the max roll, they go off the min roll. So the only time you can really guarantee what the Gen 5 AI is doing is when you're guaranteed to die. So that makes things really sketchy because you can just have some interesting moments where the AI just picks something that it shouldn't. Like when it picked Crush Claw, as I was sending out Pit out there, it picked Crush Claw knowing that Excadrill was on the field and probably at range to die to another Bulldoze. But for some reason, it just didn't. So you know, that's just a classic example of Gen 5 AI in a nutshell. So now we're gonna be showing off the cool post-game like battle facility. This is kind of like the main battle facility added on top of the battle subway. That was kind of baked into Black White 1. So this is the PWT, and the PWT is awesome because what it does is it lets you basically battle in a bunch of different cups against all the different gym leaders from this generation and generations prior. So you get to have a lot of fun enjoying fighting the gym leaders of gens past for that, you know, like that nostalgia, and they all get really sick Gen 5 remixes that are absolute bops. So I just really love this facility. I still haven't actually gotten to have fun myself getting around and, you know, beating all the cups and coming back to it. I haven't had that opportunity yet, but it's one of the things that I definitely want to do in my downtime at some time. I've been too lazy to do some manipping to put a team together because my finished White 2 saves are just any save that finished the run with Excadrill, so it doesn't have a whole lot to work with for a team. So, but anyway, this is a tournament style. 8 people enter, only 1 will survive. Cool, do that. Surely it won't be us with our plot armor. The unfortunate thing is if we do lose the PWT, we have to go all the way back to the first fight, which is not great. We don't want to do that. There's not too big of a risk dying anywhere in this PWT if you play your cards right. You can get screwed over by like this Duat, for example. I crit it, so I don't have to worry about it because the crits are just keep on rolling. So that is not an issue. It was a 13 and 16 otherwise, and it does have Revenge, which would just put you low enough to where Aqua Jet can kill you. I believe that's how the math works out. I can't recall. You just don't bank on getting screwed over too much there. It also has Water Pulse, which could confuse you, and then confusion is not good because you have a 50-50 to get through it. And if you don't, you hurt yourself. So the safest play is always to just do a swap on confusion because...
oh, man, I was rooting for Kendall.
Unlucky. Because, yeah, the bad thing about... the PWT2 is you're not allowed to heal. So I don't have access to any of my healing items. So if Excadrill dies, it's game over. So I have to be really conscious of that. This is also the one place, strangely enough, where abilities are randomized. What I mean by that is typically the trainers and whatnot that you beat throughout the game all have set stats, which makes it really easy to do calcs against, but also is very predictable because you know what they have. However, in the PWT, they actually do randomize the natures amongst all things, which, strangely enough, Stoutland does not have Intimidate. It has Sand Rush, which lets me skip having to set up Hone Claws, and I can instead just click Iron Head and win now. Otherwise, I'd have to lose a turn to using Hone Claws to get back to +0 attack. Because Intimidate doesn't let me one-shot everything, so... Charon is kind of the cakewalk, though. Hugh, in the very niche case, can be really trolly. Colress is the worst of the three because his Magnemite, or his Magneton at this point, actually, will have Sturdy. So I can't one-shot it, but it could not have Sturdy. So you kind of just go on the gamble that it doesn't have Sturdy and pray for the best with Dig. I mean, even if it did have Sturdy, you can't heal. Or at least Chorus can't, because in this facility you're not allowed to heal, so it's not a big deal. I can finish it with Iron Head, but I'm really...
Bone Club.
Yeah, listen carefully, and if you could tell me what they're saying.
It just sounds like Eddie to me.
Some people hear Eddie, some hear Jerry, Gary, Harry, Larry.
I'm just too wrestling pilled, so all I hear is Eddie.
It could be basically anything. Come up with whatever you want. But
donate.
Yeah, there you go.
Donate.
So please don't have Sturdy, because this does have Mirror Shot, which is a really low chance to drop my accuracy, but it's kind of annoying.
We still have $71 to go for that Cynthia incentive.
I say let's do it.
Do it.
So it also has supersonic, which is can confuse me. That's a bit of a troll if it does it. Fortunately, no static, or no static. I'm still at least uphill. No sturdy, so that's a really clean PWT. That's actually a perfect PWT.
Oh my god,
I
an
didn't
alien!
Get Intimidate. I got the duo out range. I never got Intimidate, and I didn't get sturdy, so that's a perfect PWT. So that's GG's there. Sadly, we didn't get to hear Chorus's theme, but we will soon, I promise. We fight him 3 times, and they don't let you hear his cool theme once. Like, it's such a highway robbery. That's right, T1. Although I think the PWT finalist theme that was just playing is an absolute banger as well. There's just so many bangers in Gen 5. So, for all our effort, we get 1 whole battle point. Whatever can I get with 1 whole battle point? It's like getting a $1 for the candy machine. Like, it just doesn't feel like you really do anything with $1 anymore, you know?
I was gonna say something about bottle caps, but I know absolutely nothing about Gen 5. It's like, we're nowhere near a bottle cap.
Yeah, right. So, fortunately, we can actually afford a Carbos with this 1 battle point, which is very useful because we do need to outspeed something later. And this Carbos, along with another one we'll pick up, is just enough for us to handle that. So, we are going to have to do some chit-chatting here. Hugh, who I guess we haven't really talked about the lore of Hugh yet. Hugh is our rival, our childhood friend, something rather. He lost a Purloin 2 years ago, or I should say his sister's Purloin was stolen 2 years ago by Team Plasma. So he's on a mission now that he has his own starter Pokemon to reclaim this Purloin. So any Plasma grunt that he sees basically turns him into a ball of rage.
It's on site.
It's basically on site that he wants to go and beat him up and try to get information on his Purloin. So that's what causes us to find their very fancy, definitely not discreet ship. So now we're just kind of getting ambushed by everyone because, everybody's on board. They're not up to any real shenanigans right now. I'm going to pick up my stylus off the floor because I dropped that.
I got confused because I thought we were going under free enterprise for a second.
Unfortunately not. So here's a coughing that we would love to flinch because the more HP, the better. Okay, there we go.
Go, guys.
Get that flinch counter going too. Donate for the flinches. So I want as much HP as I can for Skyla. I don't get a free heal from here until later, so I'm just every HP that I can save is better. So it's Trubbish time now. I say that because I forgot to point it out. This grunt, his quote says something about how it's my time. No, actually, in fact, it's Trubbish time. So every time I think of that, I think of Morbius. So
I just think it's garbage day.
It's the garbage day. It's time to pick up the trash. But yeah, now that we have taken care of those two, now we have to enter some true doubles. We're going to be doing a true double against with Charon first. Charon is actually really helpful with Stoutland. Our goal here is to land a Rock Slide that will take out both, and then Charon will kind of finish the job. It is a range to take out Golbat with Rock Slide, so I'm kind of hoping to get that range, and then Stoutland will finish up Grimer, sorry. Now, it's not always the case that Stoutland picks the best moves to take care of Grimer, or I get that range. Fortunately, Stoutland is a G, and it all worked out. If I miss Golbat, and Golbat doesn't die, because Stoutland cannot kill Golbat with just Thunderfang, which it, like 95% of the time is set up to do. It does have Confusion, or sorry, Confuse Ray, or Supersonic, or one of the confusion moves that can confuse you, which is really annoying. Also, if you don't take care of the Grimer can have, or can use Minimize, which raises its evasion by 2, and makes it a real pain to try to take out. So, you also just want to see Grimer and Golbat go down in the same turn, which is basically dependent on Grimer's range. This fight with Hugh, you'll come to learn that Hugh is absolutely useless as a doubles partner. So I'm just going to be hoping for the best from Hugh here. I want him to use Water Pulse on Coughing, and it's a 1 in 16 to actually kill a Coughing, which I'm not betting on. Coughing can also explode, which I guess is helpful. Okay, he got the 1 in 16 max roll to kill it. Just every 1 in 16 I'm getting today, it's great.
He's just so angry. He just forgets how to battle AI.
Yeah. And also because I said, unless they see the kill, they're not really going to do what you expect. So it's very unfortunate. Juwat did click Revenge, which is what I expected. Okay, and then I used Aqua Jet. So I saved an Iron Head, I guess. The Iron Head is not super useful to save. I have plenty, but Sucker Punch was annoying there just because it's extra text. Not that I got damaged. I actually got through without taking a lick of damage, which is really good.
Bone Club just will not be denied.
He won't. I've been really impressed with how the mid game has been going with Bone Club so far. He's been, well, sorry, she has been absolutely destroying it. So now that we've caused quite a bit of ruckus, we now get forcibly kicked off the ship by the Shadow Triad, who just have like godlike ninja powers and can just throw us around at will.
Can I make a ruckus?
Sure.
How about a $75 donation from Bahamut, which has met the Cynthia incentive?
Ooh. We get to see Best Girl. Thank you for the donation.
And Bahamut says, "Hey all, sorry I wasn't able to make it to Midwest Speedfest this year. Life has been really busy. I wanted to stop by and say hi. Congratulations on making it 5K. Hope to make it next year. Hope the end of the marathon finishes strong." So with that, speaking of finishing strong, so I've done some research while we were getting close to finishing that incentive. Right now, we sit at a total of $5,226. The previous record for a VGM con was $5,684. So by that mark, we need to make about, let's see, that's $462. Let's see if we can break that PB.
Don't mind that shopping. That was just me trying to figure out how I want to budget all my my money for safety for the end of the game here.
And budget all your money for the donations that we need to keep rolling in.
All right. Unfortunately, did not get the spinner pass. That's fine. It's just a little bit of a setup there. If I enter the route on the correct tile and then I do pretty clean movement up to the Parasol Lady there, I can do a safe check to see if I can get past her really quickly. Unfortunately, that did not happen, but the nice thing about the bike is that it's very, very trivial to get past spinners quickly. So this guy, I'm gonna talk to fight. That's gonna make things interesting here. I kind of screwed up the movement there a little bit, but the plan is to do what's called a run to bike. So what I can do is basically I can run to manipulate the spinner to try to look and catch me. Because the spinners have a preference looking left and right over up and down, I can basically run right up to the scientist, and then I can get on the bike and then just blitz past. For science, let's just, make it happen, even though it's probably not a safe setup because the spinner cycles are all screwed up because I took extra steps. But it all worked out in the end, so we're going to start seeing a really big habit with the Generation 5 games where they like to just really shovel the Legendary Trio on top of us. So we're going to see Kabalion, Terrakion, and Vrizian quite a bit this run, just because they really want us to catch the Legendaries as we progress on our journey, but unfortunately Bone Club is just built different, so we will prefer him instead. So I'm going to pick up the safety protein here. In normal any percent runs, you wouldn't pick it up. But for the sake of marathon safety and getting a couple better ranges, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to forget to use it, though, so please remind me if I have opened the bag at least once and have not used it. Just because I have a tendency to completely forget about it because of all the other stuff I have to try and keep track of throughout this run here. So I'm just going to be safe. There's another little run the bike. I think that's the only other one we do in this run. So it's kind of funny that the two that we use are basically back-to-back. Mysterious person talking about science. Surely that wasn't Chorus. Okay, and then this is going to make the next person crazy. Yeah. Just gonna be really safe to make sure that I don't hit her. She's usually on a cycle, but because I got off the bike to get on the stairs, I created some audio lag. Another trick about these games in particular is trying to manage the audio processing. So the game sometimes just like gets really hung up on dealing with audio. So it is in my best interest as much as possible to try to minimize the immense amount of lag that happens when the audio tracks change from like getting on the bike or trying to open the bag after a like a music change from like changing routes, and a lot of tricky stuff that I'm trying to micromanage that you don't really see too much. I missed doing it for getting in the Chargestone Cave because I was focused on rambling and not movement. But here's another kind of intense movement section. This section in general is probably the tensest for movement in general. So I'm going to go around this person because I don't want to fight them. They're very bad to fight. I'm going to pick up this elixir because it'll be useful for not having to stop at a center later. And then we're going to take a pit stop here to see Professor Juniper. Juniper is going to give us the Lucky Egg. The Lucky Egg is crucial for finishing the run. What it does is it lets us boost our experience by 1.5x. And because the thing about Gen 5 is that you get more experience if you beat something that's higher level than you, and you get less when you beat something that's lower level than you. So getting this Lucky Egg just makes the lower XP that we get, because we're higher level than everything, just a little more workable and lets us finish the run. It's a very necessary item. So I can't teach strength to Azuriel because Azuriel does not learn strength. I'm going to have to do something later for that, but I'm going to teach all my HMs now. Let's get rid of Bubble. I have Tail Whip for Azuriel, which is actually useful. I did not know that Azuriel came with Tail Whip. Offhand, I also need to use my Protein, which is at the almost the very bottom of my bag. Okay, and then this pass was not safe, so I gotta wait for her to turn. There we go. Whoops. So another thing that I'm always trying to be careful of with the grass here is I'm trying to not get completely owned by like a shaking grass or dust cloud or whatnot. We saw a dust cloud in Chargestone as I was going through there. Fortunately, it did not spawn in my way because they're all basically going to guarantee me an encounter. I'm going to lose time. The dust clouds you can get an item from instead, which can be helpful. There's a very niche set of items that could actually be helpful. But we can't really bank on getting them because the randomness of the clouds. It's just not worth trying to hold Manip for anything in order to get like in particular like a steel gem or a ground gem, which would let us basically have a free fight in the E4 compared to some of the shenanigans that we have to put up with before. So I just have some really particular movement here. I'm just being really safe about making sure I get to the next kind of like checkpoint so that I can not get pushed back. Trainers will like turn to look at you if you get pushed back to them. So I don't want to get pushed back somewhere where someone can like turn around and see me. So this is a safety save here because the Skyla fight is one where we're going to be using the X speed that we picked up at the very beginning of the game. And the X speed is important because it lets us outspeed Swanna, and Swanna is a real pain to outspeed because we need to outspeed it because it has Bubble Beam, and Bubble Beam basically does our full damage. So go ahead and use that X speed, and then I'm going to be using Hone Claws here. It doesn't make sense against the Swoobat because it has the ability Unaware, which basically ignores any of my stat changes, both positive and negative. But that's just so that I have the +1 for Swanna and for Skarmory, which is Skyla's No? Yeah, is it Skyla's ace? Swanna might be Skyla's ace, but she just sends out Skarmory last. So I just think of Skarmory as the ace because that's what comes out last. Here's Earthquake, which is an absolutely goated move. So now we don't have a 2-turn dig anymore. We have Earthquake, which is stronger, still 100%. And it's a spread move, which is really good because we deal with a lot of doubles in this game. Triple Rock Slide is a range. I can Rock Slide that probably. I basically don't want the second one to put Skyla into heal range, but I'll just crit it. I've been getting so many good crits. I can't believe it. So that's 6 down, 3 to go. Or sorry, 6 down, 2 to go. There's not 9 gems.
Hooray!
Too many numbers to keep track of.
Well, it's just the numbers don't lie. They spell doom for all of those fights because you just crit everything.
Yeah, like, I keep hyping up fights, and I just crit, so I should just stop hyping them up. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a flight to the eastern side of the region. We're kind of on the west side right now. So Unova is basically just a big O shape, and we've kind of lined up with how Black White 1 goes for a while, where we kind of meet up at Nimbasa, or like the two games kind of line up plot-wise at Nimbasa, and then kind of go in a counterclockwise circle kind of around the region then at that point. But for Black White 2, we still start at we align at Nimbasa, as I said, and then we get to about the 9 o'clock position, and the game's like, wait, this is too similar to Black White 1. We need to go somewhere else. So we just jump on a plane and go to 3 o'clock on in the route instead. So we get to see some fun new areas because of it, and some post-game areas become part of the main story instead. So that's all hunky-dory. It's also an opportunity for me to chug water because, man, I can't shut up during this run. I love this game too much.
And there may just be a lot to talk about when you look at the intricacies of Pokemon speedruns in general.
That's right.
It just looks like we're going to go, yep, this fight, click this move, but it's so much more than that. The math behind Pokemon is absolutely insane. It's more so a math simulator than anything else when you really break it down.
That's right.
Because you spend a lot of the round talking about ranges. And so there's so many factors that go into the damage calculation of the Pokemon's level, the Pokemon's attack stat, the defending Pokemon's defense stat, and all that goes through. And then there are 16 possible outcomes for the how strong the move is. You can get the 0 and 16 where it gets the weakest, or the big one where it does that. And then there's also the separate one of is this going to crit?
Right. So. A little bit of a cheeky trick here. If I walk 2 and I do what's called an instant bonk, where I just kind of bonk into the wall for 1 frame there, that lets you just barely get past that ranger as quickly as possible. So really cheeky that you can do that. Even though I said like the instant bonk is to waste 1 frame, it's actually like not like a frame perfect trick. You just hold right and the game will try to like turn right, but then you turn into a wall and it'll bonk, and then it'll just like default to the next position that it can go, which is down. So it's pretty cheeky to do instant bonks to get past that guy. So this fight is something else. The plan here is to just one-shot Vibrava. It's a 13 and 16 since I've used the second protein up from 12 and 16. If I miss it, it has Earth Power, which actually can't kill me because my health is phenomenal right now. And it wasn't going to be a problem anyway because I just got the range. So I am at the mercy of Musharna here. Shadow Ball against Grumpig is good. I've seen it put Grumpig to sleep, which is annoying because I need Musharna to help kill Grumpig. I crit Musharna. A little bit of friendly fire here. I think that's probably going to be fine. Bianca does have something in the back if Musharna dies, but I don't want to have to watch Musharna die and Bianca send something out. So I think she sends out Stoutland next, which has Intimidate, and it's just like extra time loss. I'm really looking for Musharna to use Shadow Ball, and it tried to put Drifblim to sleep instead. And fortunately for Musharna, I flinched Drift Blim, because otherwise I think Drift Blim would have seen a kill on Musharna with like Hex or something and tried to kill it. So that was interesting. But now we're coming up to arguably the worst rival fight. Actually, definitively the worst rival fight. This rival has Aqua Jet now, which does just a crap ton of damage to us. It's basically a range for us to get 2-shot by it. The plan is to set up to +2 with Hone Claws on Unpheasant, who Hugh fortunately sends out first, so we don't have to deal with Samurott as much. But Unpheasant does have the move Taunt, which, if it uses it, restricts us from being able to use setup moves like Hone Claws and can only let us use attacking moves. So if I have only +1, I just kind of have to go in and hope for the best against Samurott. Like that. Sometimes it'll go for Detect turn 1. Instead, it's going to go for it turn 2, and I'm going to actually try to attack it. So welcome to Pokemon, I guess. Now the plan is to use Rock Slide against Samurott and take not enough damage to tank another one while we kill it with Earthquake. 79 is fine. Basically, I'm not even dead to the max roll here, so this is perfect. Samurott, because it didn't see the kill, it did like the rare funny thing where it tries to click Revenge instead, which I guess is time saved, because now I don't have to heal. Which is really nice, but usually it, like 95% of the time, it's gonna pick Aqua Jet. So, you know, I just, another one of those like Gen 5 moments this run where it's like, if I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's crazy that it's happened twice, you know, kind of situation, you know? But thankfully that was a pretty clean fight.
And speaking of nickels, how about we get some more donations in? We still have a ways to go to make that previous record now, and I think that we can do it by the end of this run. Get those donations, chat. We have a great mission here that we are supporting in the P Fund, and they are supporting the Transcend program, which is a campaign that is raising funds for distribution to partners across the Upper Midwest, doing on-the-ground work to protect and assist trans, non-binary, and gender-expansive youth and adults throughout the Upper Midwest. This money will go straight to them and help them in their missions and making things so much better for those that there's not every part of this part of the country is as nice and friendly towards those differing from the norm than Minnesota. So anything we can do to support them is greatly appreciated.
So, welcome to Lacanosa Town, which has an absolute banger of a town theme. Very underappreciated compared to Driftveil. Driftveil is very good, but this one is also just chef's kiss. So we're getting a huge lore dump here. We're learning about some kind of monster that comes out at night and like makes the town really, really cold, and everyone's really, really scared of it. And that's why this town has like huge walls built around it. Just a whole lot of like lore stuff here about legendaries and stuff. Since we're kind of getting to the later part of the game, you know, we kind of got to start shoehorning some lore in, since there hasn't been a ton of it in White 2. I think one of the strengths of this game is its pacing for sure. It does kind of give you the lore in some denser chunks, but it does at least let you have a lot of fun in between those times. So that's why I like these games so much. The really funny thing too is that we just keep telling Juniper we have no idea what she's talking about. I didn't make that note earlier when we were talking to her after the plane landed, because she's like trying to connect the dots, and we just tell her like, no, that's not a good idea. And she's like, well, it could be, you know, just. I don't know. It's just interesting that we keep telling the highly qualified and trained professor in the lore that she's wrong just to keep things moving. I don't know. Anyway, so this is the first Zinzolin double. The plan here is to Rock Slide and take care of the Cryogonal, and then we'll wrap up the Golbat next turn. As I said before, you should always expect in a true double with Hugh that Hugh is absolutely useless. This is going to be no exception. Rock Slide Cryogonal, that's what you expect. That should be low enough for Samurott to see the kill and pick Aqua Jet on Golbats. I'm still going to target Golbat in case Samurott does something silly, but it shouldn't.
I'm sorry, was that Encore?
Yeah, I told you. It's silly. Yeah. Slash from Sneasel if I had 3 nickels. Normally, Sneasel picks Slash. Anyway, so fortunately, Samurott finished Golbat, so then my Iron Head got redirected to Sneasel, and we took out Sneasel no problem, and then EQ finishes the Garbodor no problem. But the silly thing about that is that Samurott can pick Aqua Jet and then proc Garbodor's weak armor, so it's just extra time loss. It's just like, just thanks for helping, you know? Like, it's just that.
He's trying, question mark?
Right, it's like, you get a participation medal, but I'm not happy about it.
He's just so blinded by the rage. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna encore.
So, we're gonna pickpocket that battle girl for a rare candy. It's actually on the floor, but you can talk to her. She's walking off the tile, and it just looks like you're stealing a rare candy from her, which is kind of funny. You can't talk to her too early or you'll fight her, so you gotta be careful of that. Unfortunately, this blue hair boy here is not clipping into the fence. Sometimes you load this area so fast that the game doesn't really like figure out where he can and can't be yet, so he just ends up clipped into the fence. It's really funny. But what I'm gonna do here is I didn't use both the Carbos, did I? I didn't. I also was using a freshwater to heal. This is an experience and a half. Okay, I'm just gonna top him off with the freshwater then. And I used both my Carboses, so now I'll outspeed what I need, and I had used my candy. So we should be set now. We should not have any shenanigans happen in the next gym. So the unfortunate thing about this bike is that it's so fast that sometimes you can overshoot or undershoot where you're supposed to go, and that lets you just dance around doorways like I did with that fence there, especially when they're 1 tile wide. This bike just has an insane, like, you're either full speed or full stop. There is no acceleration on this bike, and it
all gas, no brakes.
Exactly. It's a very, very rewarding and very satisfying feeling to pull off all of the movement on the bike, but it also can be very difficult sometimes. But here's Opelucid City with another banging theme. This is white too, so it's the historic version of Opelucid and not like the super neon futuristic version of the town. And we can just go straight into fighting Drayden. So this gym is actually not too special. Everyone is kind of a piece of cake, but the gym theme is absolutely epic.
And the architecture, my God.
How did they fit that? You saw the building of the gym, right? Like, how did they fit this in here?
It's a massive underground thing.
Probably.
But somehow makes much more sense than the bug gym.
Right. So, plan here is to flinch this Fracture. It does have D-Dance, and if it uses D-Dance to boost its attack and speed, I do end up in a speed tie against it. I have all the health in the world, but I would just like to not take damage in this gym. All right, I'll just flinch it. That's, I think we're at least 2 useful flinches so far. It's hard to keep track of all the flinches sometimes. I don't have a manual counter on that, so. But, so the plan here is each like half, kind of like Norman's gym in Gen 3, has like a specialty. So here it's the difference between offensive and defense. We like to pick the offense one because it's faster than the defense one. Don't ask me how. I've never bothered to look at the defense one. But plan here is just the Swords Dance and spam Earthquake. That'll one-shot the 2 of them. But then the next set of trainers, I have the choice between triple battles and rotation battles. So triple battles are objectively faster than rotation battles because all 3 pokes get an opportunity to pick a move and can all be targeted at once, which means I don't have to spend time manually swapping my Pidove and discount Psyduck to sack them because I don't want them to get XP, but I have to have 3 pokes alive in my party in order to do triple battles. So I cannot progress the story if I don't have 3 pokes alive in my party in this fight. And it was the same deal for Charles before too, so. So triple battles are just so much faster, and because triple battles are faster, it's also why we pick white 2 over black 2, because In White 2, Charles is a triple battle over a rotation battle. Rotation is just so much more slower. So we don't want to deal with that at all. The nice thing, too, about White 2 is that there are a couple of areas that have different layouts, such as Route 4 and also Reversal Mountain, which we went through earlier with the Vibrava. The layout's a little different in Black 2 and forces you to fight an extra double battle. So that way, it is not worth to play. I didn't swap to the front. That is my fault. I do so good at talking that I forget that I actually have to play the game. So this is fine, probably. I'm just gonna hope that they take out Pidove and Azrael right away. And then I'll just EQ, and then I'll like EQ again after. 102. I'm dead if I miss this Dredigan range, which is a 75%. Alright, fortunately I got it, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I'll just use another Earthquake to take care of the last. Actually, I could probably just Iron Head it. It's fine.
Just get it. Just flinch it, just crit it, just everything, because Bone Club is unstoppable.
That's right.
Just like these donations can be. We have about $400 to beat the previous record set by Midwest set by Mid-Spring Speedfling 2022. That's a lot of words, but we can do it. Let's get those donations in for the P Fund. It's an important cause. Let's finish out the marathon strong because we have. Oh wow. How much longer do you think we have until we're done?
Ooh, we got probably hour 10, hour 15-ish yet, I'd say.
So up to just about 75 minutes to finish up this marathon strong, and let's get it to the end. Thank you so much for chat. Let's get the hypes going. Let's go TTS. And let's go Bone Club.
So I guess the one nice thing about forgetting to swap is I don't have to swap Excadrill back to the front later. Because the weird thing about triple battles is it makes the Pokemon second in your party in the lead. So I was meant to swap Excadrill second, so that way it can see everything with EQ, because Earthquake cannot see all the enemies unless Excadrill's in the middle. So that's why I was only able to take out 2. It's not the end of the world that I didn't swap. It's just a little slower because then I had to wait for the auto center to kick in so I can actually reach Fracture because it's so far away.
So you heard it there, Chad. If the Earthquake can't see you, it can't hurt you.
All right, and that Flygon is the whole reason why that we get the proteins, not the proteins, the Carbos to boost our speed, because if we don't outspeed it, it has Earth Power and it's just going to own us. So fortunately, we can just squeeze by outspeeding it. And Haxorus almost always picks D-Dance, so it's never a threat. And with that, that's 7 gyms down, 1 to go. And so with that, we got the Legend Badge.
Hooray!
Now we're going to get a little bit more lore from Drayden here. He's going to want us to go wait outside, quote unquote. And that'll let us go and deal with a bunch of lore where while we're inside talking, surely nothing bad happens. So, I guess this is a good time where I could talk about kind of the history of this route a little bit. So long time ago, back when RNG manipulation wasn't really a thing or well known about Gen 5, runners started with Manipulous Tepig, I believe it was, until RNG manipulation was understood enough that we could manip Tepig. So then we would do manip Tepig to the end. And then at some point, the RNG for Dust Clouds got figured out to the point where we could reliably come up with manips for Drillbur, which is a lot faster than Emboar. Like the amount of things that are just an absolute cakewalk for Excadrill, or I should say Bone Club, but just terrible for everything else is astronomical. Like the big hindrance about this game is that you're very limited to the amount of X items you're given. You get access to 1 of each X item in the early game, but you cannot actually buy X items until right before you get here in Opelousas City. So Manipulous runs like to stop at Shopping Mall 9 to buy the X items that they need, and runs, you know, back in the day too that needed to, but you're pretty disadvantaged when trying to route out Outmain because you only get that 1 of each X item that you can use. And some are more simple to pick up than others. Some are a bit of a process to go out of the way to get.
That's just slightly ominous.
Yeah, we're just gonna ignore the really like ominous looking ship in the sky. I'm just gonna keep rambling about the route. But the thing about dust clouds is that it wasn't really understood how dust clouds spawned for the longest time. So even though that we could manip a really good drillbur, it was kind of a pain trying to manipulate the dust cloud to appear, because you have to go into a dust cloud to spawn drillbur. So it was kind of a pain for the longest time until more understanding about how dust clouds spawn was understood. So with that in mind, I want to give a shout out to March, who is a Gen 4 runner primarily, but he did a lot of cooking with Gen 5 with me back when I started picking up this category, and we worked on creating a lot of scripts along with the Japanese tools that I mentioned a long time ago to help us find more seeds, to find just kind of really refine the process of finding your manipulations, because it's so like difficult to manip in this game. At least the hardest part is always finding manips. It's not executing the manips. If you spend enough time to route a really simple to do manip, they're never hard. Like, you have a whole second wide window in order to hit your RNG seeds, but because the you know, every white 2 cart is personalized because of that DS MAC address being part of the RNG manipulation, it's pretty difficult to it can be really frustrating, because the barrier to entry is really high, because you have to come up with your own manips first, unless you choose to run Manipless, which is a totally valid thing to do. There is a Manipless category of most of the DS mainboards that heavily use RNG manipulation, so that you don't have to worry too much about getting into those heavy manips right away. You can just pick up Manipless and try things out for yourself and see if you like it before going into the thick of manipping, because you basically just become an expert at Gen 5 RNG manip by the time you're done learning how the manips work and everything. So yeah, it's been manipped Excadrill since like August of 2016-ish, but the process for finding drillbur has always been kind of a pain up until the last couple of years. It's gotten better, because we kind of had an idea of how dust clouds spawn, but then we've kind of finally cracked the code for dust clouds early this year. So that lets us late last year we cracked the code. It was I think August of last year. Again, my timeline of things is always really fuzzy. I remember the order of events, but never the when. So yeah, Sandstorm is not useful, even though we have Sand Rush, so we're just not going to teach that. And yeah, so now we're just trying to clean out the grunts in the city. They're all looking for the DNA Slicer item, which allows you to fuse Reshiram and Zekrom. So they're basically just trying to find that so they can fuse Reshiram and Zekrom. Not that they have the third piece, which is Reshiram or Zekrom. But they're trying to find the item so that they can use it when the time is right, I guess, when they do find the legendary Pokemon. Because they've already captured Kyurem, and that's what powers the ice cannon that has frozen the city. So they're just looking for Reshiram or Zekrom at this point, because you know, they figured out the whole thing with fusing and stuff.
Seems like a lot of work just to cool the city down.
I mean, I guess you can fix global warming that way, maybe. Just cool the whole city down, you know. I don't think it's a very efficient method, but... so yeah, the Wheezing there has a very, very low chance to explode. I don't think I've ever seen it explode. But if you're low enough health, it's worth setting up a Swords Dance just to, like, not die to that if it does pick it. But this is the second to last fight we need to do here before we're kind of done with the whole plasma sequence. Zinzulin's not a huge issue. We're just going to click some Iron Head and Earthquake, and then we do get a free heal after this fight, which is really nice, because that'll set us up well for the next gym. It's just a matter of jamming out, Iron Heading Cryogonals. You're going to see a lot of the Team Plasma theme, so I hope you're not sick to death of it. Because it is a bot, but I've heard it 1,500 times. So this Weavile has pressure, which will be more important in later fights where we fight Zinzolin. It also has Ice Shard, but Ice Shard will not crit us. Ice Shard is priority, so it'll go first before us, and it pretty much always picks it. I don't know what else it has, so I'm not ever really worried about getting hurt by it, because it just always clicks Ice Shard. So as long as I'm above surviving Ice Shard, it's never really an issue. So Drayden is just going to take Zinzolin's place in a quick fade to black. I don't know how that happens, but Drayden is going to run inside and give us the DNA splicers, because a good idea to make sure that the item that someone is finding is safe and they have no idea where it is by going to get it and then bringing it out in public in a public transfer to you, where it can just get snatched by superhuman ninjas.
You, a child.
Yeah, a child, no less, who just has 7 badges and a really cracked Excadrill. Bone Club.
Shoutouts to Bone Club.
So this is the only Shadow Triad member we have to fight before we're finally done with this whole section. He's got a Pawniard, Absol Pawniard. We can just Earthquake all of them. It's not really a big deal. You can Ironhead the Absol for memes. It's like a 14-16 if you do it, but it's not really worth it. I was trying to cook a route for a while, at least me and Minnow were, where you skip picking up the Elixir and Max Ether that I picked up, and instead pick up a PP up and try to use that to have more moves to get to later parts of the run where we can take free heals later, but it just doesn't end up really saving time unless absolutely everything goes out perfect. So it's kind of a cope strat that you have to commit to relatively early on before you really have a clear indication if that's something that you want to risk for a top time or not. So, but we're gonna get a quick phone call here from Charon, who is not right outside the town, so you can just talk to us. I guess because Hugh is also like CC'd on this call. I don't know why, but basically everyone's hot on the trails of Team Plasma, trying to figure out what's going on now. Once everyone heard that Uplisted City was under attack, Charon came running. I guess he didn't fly, or he would have like came from the center and the other side of town or whatever. But now we get to go to Himalaya City, so we're gonna get out of this nasty cold stuff and actually, you know, live up to the theme of VGM-Com a little bit. We're gonna go to somewhere nice and tropical. To get there, though, we have to go through a place called the Marine 2, which has a very like out-of-body, like 3 a.m. In pitch black, staring at the ceiling, out-of-body kind of like experience, like theme, which I think is really fun. Like, it's just like really like trippy. Wait for it. You know, it just hits different, you know? Sadly, I only get to listen to so much of it. But
Turn that back on. I was vibing.
Go back, please. All right, so Hugh is concerned about getting the DNA splicers back, but he's like, actually, we should go do the gym first. So, you know, we have no idea where Team Plasma went, so let's just go fight the gym leader and do gym stuff, I guess. So it's like, okay, works for us. The Carbos is nice because we outspeed this Floatzel. I don't want to miss Rock Slide on this Mantine. My Rock Slides have been very nice to me so far compared, like, I'm critting a lot of Rock Slides.
It's just so jarring going from that just awesome theme to what is essentially elevator music in here.
That's right. So, yeah, it does really have, that's such a good way to put it, as elevator music, honestly. So, I'd like to not miss Rock Slide on this Mantine, please. Thank you. I want to be full health going into Marlin. Marlin's a really troll fight. Everyone on his team has Scald because that's like his signature move or whatever. So he's going to be like basically clicking it all the time. And Scald has a 30% to burn, which is really bad if I get burned. Like the whole like fight goes like haywire if you get burned, and you have to go a whole different way through the fight basically. So the plan is he's going to lead Caracosta, and Caracosta's going to click Shell Smash. which drops all of its defensive stats and raises all its offensive stats and speed. Which basically just gives me a free turn because I can two-shot Caracosta no matter what it does. But if it picks Scald, I kind of have to do some shenanigans to get around that. I basically have to take a death at some point if I get Scald because there's no real way for me to get through the fight. Because since I'm a ground type, Scald just hits so hard. It's hard to dodge it. So basically, I'm looking for Shell Smash or a flinch. Don't ask me what the odds are between it picking Shell Smash or Scald, because I have no idea. But I did all my movement right, so I can just cheekily sneak up past him and around. And fingers crossed that the last gym leader goes really, really well.
What an entrance by Marlon.
I know, he just like, he's got the vertical, man. I don't know what to tell you. So we're gonna Iron Head. I get Scald. That's the worst version of this fight. I am burned. It's even worse. Does burn kill Costa here? Yes, it does. So I'm going to be basically killing Caracosta, and then I'm going to have to take a death on Wailord. Nothing I can really do about it. But it's fine. I have the revives, so. Oh no. I'm red. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh,
Scary
no.
music. So I'm just going to chip it with Earthquake. Normally, you'd set up Swords Dance on Wailord before using Earthquake on it to one-shot just basically everything else in the gym. The Wailord has Amnesia, so it usually just clicks Amnesia, which doesn't do anything. But it also has Scald and it also has Bounce. Bounce is kind of funky because Bounce can miss. Yeah, so you just be stuck there like waiting for like Wailord to do its thing. So another EQ should kill Wailord. And then I'm basically just going to be Iron Heading Jellicent and then Earthquake and praying for the flinch. I should have sacked Azrael first. What was I doing? It's very likely I'm going to have to sack Azrael anyways. Yeah, because I'm not going to live this. That's fine. So I'll still get to sack Azrael. I need to sack Azrael at some point before a double battle, so just whenever is convenient. Fortunately, this is convenient. I have to revive Extra Girl anyway. Since I have to revive Bone Club anyway. Then Earthquake should kill from here, so that was a very unoptimal Marlon fight. But with that, we're all 8 badges done. So, all 8 badges, surely there's not 45 minutes of content left.
You don't know Pokemon well enough.
Yeah, so we got about, I'd spitball 45-ish minutes to get your donations in. So let's beat that personal best.
Got about $400 to go. Let's move that needle. Let's get those donations in, support the P Fund, and finish out this awesome marathon strong. TTS is absolutely killing it so far. Bone Club is hitting all the crits. We got this, chat. Let's go.
That's right.
That was awesome.
That was a great bone. Okay, so Marlon is completely oblivious to all of Team Plasma's shenanigans, and he's a very mellow guy. He's basically like, are you really positive that the bad guys are all that bad? Like, you think these Team Plasma guys are really like not good people? I have to tell him, yes, of course.
Yeah, they literally froze an entire city with a cannon.
Yeah, like I'd say he's been living under a rock, but he's probably been living under the water. There's no news down there, so let's see. Oh, that's fine. All right, so I'm gonna use a max ether to bring my earthquakes back. I also need to revive Pit of because I do need it to actually like have a double fight be a double fight. But I don't want Azrael alive because I don't want to have to sack it again later. So I repelled now. I'm going to be doing a really cool trick. I'm the only one who does it at 80% right now. It's called trainer skip. The deal is I'm going to be doing some RNG manipulation to basically cause like those phenomenon, like those dust clouds and stuff, to basically go get in the way of trainer's vision. And what that'll do is that'll let me skip past them without having to fight them. So that's really cool because it saves about 13 to 19-ish seconds. The reason it's a pretty variable is because there is a spinner on this route that you typically full YOLO, and if you get past them, you do. If you don't, you lose like 5 seconds, so it's not like the end of the world. But because I'm doing RNG manipulation, I do manip to just get past that spinner, so it's never a problem. And so the plan is I'm going to be skipping 2 trainers in order to save like, you know, that 13 to 19 seconds or whatever to not have to fighting them. I am the only person who does this at 80%, outside of Sugar, who does it in the JPN 80%. And his JPN 80% runs at least. But this was first done by Worcester for his complete PWT category extension board. So it's kind of funny that a trick, you know, this complicated was used in a category extension, but it's also was used at a time where the knowledge of dust clouds was very limited. So there's a lot more effort that went into trying to find enough seeds that, or finding like a good seed that lets you perform this skip. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up and focus on the movement here because it is pretty tricky. So. Alright, that's the hard part. So there's one. I'm not out of the woods yet, though. I got one more. And there's 2. Alright, so that's trainer skip. You can clap for that.
Let's go.
So the nice thing about that too is it lets me go through this one tile wide without ever having to worry about a rippling water appearing and then subsequently like screwing me over, because it is only one tile wide there. So if a phenomenon spawns in front of me, there's just I have to take the encounter. There's no way around it. So with that in mind, that lets us encounter this crustal. We could just run from it. We don't have to do anything special. We just have to encounter it because it's blocking the way. And it was the whole reason why we had to go see Colress, was to get the machine that lets me like activate him, because he's just like sleeping or whatever. He's pulling a Snorlax and sleeping in the way. We finally found where Team Plasma's hiding, so we're trying to figure out how to get onto the ship. Fortunately, Marlin just shows up and has dropped the gangplank for us. I don't know how he managed to do that, but we've somehow convinced them that they're bad guys, and with his like just absolutely shredded body, he got up onto the ship from the water and then dropped the gangplank for us. At least in my fan fiction, that's what happened.
Makes sense to me.
All right, so now since we got to skip those 2 trainers, I actually have more PP than what the normal route has, which is really nice. The plan is to not have to use an elixir to heal until Colress. We'll see how that goes. I'm just going to be clicking some Iron Heads here. I'm basically going to be keeping an eye on my Iron Head and Earthquake count, though, because I do want to make sure that I have what I want when I need it. If I just mindlessly click Iron Head or EQ, I'm going to run out of one or the other, and I kind of need both in certain scenarios, because I don't want to have to use Rock Slide, so. Man, I've been talking a lot. I just drank a whole water bottle. Remember to hydrate. All right, so this is another true double. So, you know, the truth still stands that he was a terrible doubles partner. The plan here is to get rid of Golbat right away Then I'm going to use Earthquake to take out the enemy, and then I'm going to use Iron Head and try to get the range on this Garbodor. The thing is that I don't really want Samurott to die. If Samurott dies, it's not the end of the world. I get extra XP. But depending on what Seviper does, which is the worst thing possible, I'm gonna have to watch Samurott die now, and I'm gonna get extra XP from it. Never mind, because Samurott's still alive when I kill them, so Samurott's still gonna get the XP. It's such a hog. But now I'm gonna have to watch Samurott die, probably.
Well, I mean, it did pick Encore.
Yep. Right. Like, what was it thinking with that? Alright, just get the range. Cool. So with that, the plan now, or at least what we have to do is we have to find a key card to activate that terminal up there so that we can punch in a password to deactivate these very villainesque electric fence. So fortunately for us, we know our password. The password is derived by our trainer ID, which is generated at the very beginning of the game while we're doing our Tepig manip. So another like prereq for Tepig is typically to have a trainer ID that, after doing some quick maths on it, translates into a good password. There are 5 different passwords that can that'll open the gate. And it's just like it's like a trainer ID modulo 256 modulo 5. So that's where you divide but take the remainder. So you can only get like 0 to 256 when you divide your trainer ID, and then it'll do, you know, pick 0 to 5 out of that, and then it'll pick between the list of 2202, 7707, 9909, or the words Reshiram and Zekrom. Now, the number passwords are the worst because not only are they the longest, but they're the most obnoxious to try to punch in because of the keypad. I mean, you can switch over to QWERTY, but it's slower than just like punching in on the regular like nicknaming keyboard. But that's a ABCDEF keyboard instead of a QWERTY, so you kind of have to, you know, get used to where all the different or all the letters are in that case. So. For this seed in particular, or at least for our Tepig seed, our password is 9909, which is the slowest of the numbers. 2202 is the best because 2 and 0 are right next to each other. Because of the 9 and the 0 being on opposite ends of like the little strip of numbers on the bottom, it means that I have to stretch farther between the numbers. So boo-hoo to me, I guess. I don't know. So we'll go ahead and punch that in. And then we'll have to do another Zinzalin double here. This is the last one we have to do. This is also the last true double with Hugh, which is nice. So, again, though, Hugh is absolutely worthless. So I am banking on Hugh to land Aqua Tail, which is not 100% accurate. I'm basically going to be taking care of everything on the left side, which is Zinzalin, while Hugh takes care of everything on the right side, which is that grunt. So fingers crossed that he was like semi-useful. So let's see here. Iron Head on the left. Diagonals down, and then taunt, and yep, miss. Aqua Tail. A tail as old as time. So now what's really annoying is that I'm not going to get both of the last pokes at the same time. I will at least get Weavile first. And Weavile is the one I can't two-shot, so now taunted as well, I think. I think that Liepard taunted both of us, oddly enough. So yeah, I'm gonna get Watchog and Weavile, so I'm gonna Rock Slide this. Then let me think. No, I'll just Rock Slide again. You should see the kill on Weavile, target Weavile. And I want to save the extra Earthquakes because of pressure. Like, you can Earthquake there. It's not a better range to kill with Earthquake than it is Rock Slide on Weavile. The problem is that because of pressure, it would take 2 Earthquakes. You don't want to do that if you can help it.
2 Earthquakes for the cost of 4. What a deal.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I burned 4 Rock Slides there because of pressure. Rock Slide is fortunately a move I don't care about making sure I can use, so it's kind of like my backup if I don't want to use Iron Head or EQs, because I'm treating those like gold right now. Now that everyone's collective neck has snapped on the frigate, being shot up into the sky at unholy G-forces. They're going to fly off the giant chasm, so we're going to have to go chase them down. And that'll be kind of like the last big like Team Plasma thing that we have to do before the end of the game, unfortunately. So I'd say if all goes well, we'll close out in about a half hour. If all things go bad, it'll be closer to 40 minutes. So definitely get your donations in if you can. We're, you know, the end is approaching ever so near.
The end is nigh, the end is nigh. Run away, the end is nigh. But let's get those donations in. Let's finish out this marathon strong. I think we can break the record if we get some of those donations in. Let's go, chat.
All right, so to get to Chasm, we're going to fly back to Himalaya City and then be doing some kind of tricky but really cool to pull off movement here. Let's see if I can do a bonkless just for the swag.
Bye, Terrakian.
Yeah, again with the whole like you just keep getting the Swords of Justice thrown in front of you. We saw Verizian on the way to off Lucid earlier. So they just really want us to catch them during the main game, but you know we don't got time for that.
Who needs Terrakian when you got Bone Club?
That's right. All right, so funny enough, there's a spy within Team Plasma. It's an old Team Plasma member dressed up as a new Team Plasma member, and we just blindly trust him because he just says like, "I'm on your side." And it's just like, okay, cool, nice Cloud. I almost got caught by that. So we're using him to get intel, and I guess Rude's also here now because he's trying to talk sense into Neo Team Plasma as well. Hugh ain't having any of it, though. He's just going to scream at all of them and call them idiots and wants his Purloin back. But we're going to have to take a fight here. So this is the fight where if I have not gotten rid of Azurill, I would do it now. Sorry, if I hadn't gotten rid of Pidove yet, I would do it now. Do I have it backwards? Do I have Pidove alive? Do I have alive? Am I cooking really bad? I swear I play this game. I do have Pidove alive. I have to sack Pidove then. The reason I want to sack Pidove is because I can't kill it with Earthquake. Well, I guess I was gonna set up Swords Dance anyway, so it's not a huge deal, but whatever. Whatever. This is a marathon. Things are meant to be scuffed. It's how you get content. So we'll just two-shot the Wheezing here. It can explode, which is really nice if it blows up on the turn that you're sending out hit out the sack. Unfortunately, it did not do that for us, but it also didn't blow up on Excadrill, so I'm not complaining. Also didn't Swords Dance Wheezing, so I used an extra Iron Head, but it's fine. I should have plenty of Iron Head still. We're going to get max revives, which is really clutch to have, actually. It'll be very useful in the E4. If Excadrill ever takes a death, he'll get right back in at full health. So
I appreciate that he also gives them to Hugh.
Yeah, he's very considerate. He doesn't want you to feel left out, you know.
In case his Samurott dies to using Encore when he's not supposed to.
Right, right. So I'm gonna go ahead and heal up my Azrael now. And then, so this double is called the ambush double. At least I call it the ambush double because they like to tout at you that they have ambushed you. Just because as soon as you go through the door, you're immediately like thrown into a fight. They also say really funny things. They're so quotable. Qua, I do ambush thee.
Qua, I do ambush thee.
So
you have been ambushed.
Plan is I'm gonna set up Swords Dance and let Scraggy and Trubbish take care of Azrael, and then I'm gonna Earthquake. The very scary thing is the Scrafty that comes out next. It's a range of +0, which is the whole reason why I am setting up. So I want to be able to get the range. Well, it's not a range at +2, so I just want to shut down Scrafty as quickly as possible. Everything else is not a threat. It's just because Scrafty is high jump kick, which does a crap ton of damage.
And he has to hold up his pants. Just give him a break.
Right. Now we're going to try and hit a wonderful Rock Slide. Missing Whirlipede was fine. Golbat is not fine. Not because Golbat has anything like threatening, but just because like turn efficiency. I can still kill Garbodor if it's both Garbodor and Whirlipede. But 4, so I'm at 3, and then at 3 I have 3 Earthquakes for Weavile, so I have 1 left over, so I can do Chorus Elixir. So that is very good. I probably should have healed using Azrael, but that's whatever. Oh, also the one guard said, "Woe is me" when he died, or when I defeated him. So another extremely quotable thing to add to your vocabulary. All right, so here's a little puzzle to turn this electric gate off. There's 4 switches, and there's 4 warp tiles that go to the switches. So I'm basically going to be navigating through here as safely as possible to not get seen. It's pretty hard to get seen if you do the movement that I do here. There is a riskier path through here that requires spinner passes, but only saves time if you get the passes, so it's just not worth it. But this puzzle is also really easy. You just start on the left side and skip the first one, and then you just make sure that you hit every single like warp panel as you go. And eventually you just find all the panels to hit all the switches. It's pretty simple. It's kind of clever how simple that works out.
And while you're solving that, I can say that we've added $61 to the donation total from the Twitch subs and bits. Thank you so much for supporting Midwest Speedfest 2024 and the P Fund. Let's go and get towards that PB. More donations in. We're getting close to the end of the run, and believe it or not, the marathon. So let's go.
All right, so we picked up a Max Elixir. Because we never intend on stepping on a center anytime soon, so I want that to restore all my moves. PP. This is the last Zinzolin fight. It's not the last Plasma fight in general, but it's the last Zinzolin fight. So if I didn't have the Iron Heads to take care of these Cryogonal, I'd have to make it up with Rock Slide. Fortunately, I do, so we don't have to worry about it. And I have 3 Earthquakes, so I can use 2 to take care of the Weavile, because of pressure. And then I'll have 1 more for Chloris. So there is a strat where you can basically use an Elixir on Chloris instead of using a Max Elixir before Chloris. And what that does is that gives you 1 extra Earthquake to basically save a turn on the Shadow Triad members that you have to fight in a little bit. But it's also at the cost of, it's riskier because then the Magnezone that you're going to use the Max Elixir on can explode, which does save turns as well, so that's really good. But it can also cost you health, obviously. And that's why I kind of noted that I probably should have healed during the ambush doubles, because that would give me more HP to try to get through this section without having to heal, but that's all right. I think I'll just heal now to keep things on the safer side, because I don't really want to lose Excadrill, because I don't have anything alive. That is a wonderful example of how slow loading the bag can be sometimes. Holy smokes. Do I even have a revive? I have max revives. I do not have normal revives. It might be worth buying some at some point. Just because. I have to stop at a... I do have to stop at a center anyway, because I need to pull Pig Knight out for strength, but... It's not like a big deal. When people practice your counting.
Wow, this whole time the scientist is working with the evil team? Oh no!
Whoa, no way. Nice flinch. Any flinch I get here is really nice. Now I'm just hoping Bag the Zone blows up. Flash cannon, that's fine. Special defense drop, that's less than ideal. But this health should still be fine. Nothing is really going to attack me at this health, because again, the AI is only really going to see a kill if I'm guaranteed to die to it, and I'm faster than everything, so anything I can one-shot, I will one-shot no problem. The only thing I can't one-shot is this Clink Line coming up. It has an air balloon, so I can't click Earthquake because it's technically flying until I pop it, so I just pop it with Iron Head, and then I'll finish it with Earthquake. And this Clink Lang is more obsessed about getting faster than me than it is about trying to like damage me. So with that in mind, I'm pretty much always really safe, because it's just going to keep clicking shit here to try to get faster than me, because it's just a really slow poke. It takes 2 to get fast enough. And with that, that's Chorus down. So everyone get your goodbyes in before we say goodbye to Chorus forever.
Goodbye.
So he wishes us good luck in our battle and our attempts to free Kyurem. Although Kyurem is going to be taken by grunts to the depths of the chasm as protection, I guess. I don't know why Kyurem needs to be in the chasm when it could be in like that holding cell thing that they have for him, and they siphon the energy out of him. I don't know. But anyway, Getsus has the sickest PC gaming setup you've ever seen.
Look at all those monitors.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, at least 14, I think.
It's 15.
I think it's 15, yeah.
Because there's 6 on either side, 2 and 1 in the middle.
Yeah. So, what a sick gaming setup.
That is ADHD personified.
Yeah, that's right. So that Lipard is the one that was stolen from Hugh as Youngin, or Hugh's sister as Youngin. So Hugh is finally getting resolved to his story. Not as the way he wants, though, because that Lipard wants absolutely nothing to do with Hugh after the abuse it's taken from Team Plasma. So he's going to have to take some time to sort that out. And we're going to have to take care of all the triad here. So we're going to have to fight all 3 of them. All 3 of them have Poniard, something Poniard. This first one has an Absol with Super Luck and Slash and Night Slash. So it's basically just really trying to crit you. Also, this is the second Oko move that we learned in this run. For some reason, Excadrill can learn both Horn Drill and Fissure, which are both the one-hit KO moves. I guess pick your favorite. I guess they both have the strength and weaknesses, because one is normal, one's ground, so they have something that they can't hit. So this one has a Bayonet with Will-O-Wisp, but it's never an issue. We one-shot everything, so it's just more of a trivia night thing to say that this Will-O-Wisp has Bayonet. this bait net has Will-O-Wisp. Man, this Bane or this Bone Club, man. He does so much. It's crazy.
Will not be denied.
He will not stop. I mean, we have a little Marlin snafu, but we don't worry about that.
Can't stop, won't stop. But unfortunately, this marathon will be stopping at the end of this run. We get a little bit of time for donations. Let's go.
That's right. All right, so the last one here is the most annoying of the three because it has an Excelgor. So Excelgor is faster than us because, as the name implies, it accelerates fast. It also has a move called Me First, which copies what move you're doing and uses it against you with priority. So I'm going to click Iron Head against it, but it'll use Me First, so it'll be faster than me. And then it will use Iron Head against me, and I can get flinched by it. Thankfully, I did not. It's not very threatening, and it can't really do much with Iron Head, and I one-shot it, and its other move that'll use it, which is Giga Drain, does not do much at all. So I'm at plenty of health to not have to worry about it, fortunately. Alright, so with that, the Shadow Triads are dealt with, so now we can go confront Getsus himself. So yeah, he still needs a little bit to process, so we'll go handle this mano-a-mano.
He'll just try to encore the cat and get mauled.
That's right. So a little bit of a fun slide puzzle here. If you're cheeky, you can do that to go a little bit faster because the stairs aren't technically sliding. I don't normally do that. It's the first time I ever got it, and I don't ever do it, so it's a pat on the back to me. I feel really proud of that.
Heck yeah.
That is not an impressive trick to clap for. It saves frames.
But we like the swag here.
Yes. All right, so Getsus is planning on ending things once and for all with Kiram here after we have foiled every single plan of his up to this point. He is a very grumpy old man.
I just imagine him like, Kiram, glaciate!
Pretty much. There's actually a web series on YouTube from the official Pokemon channel called Pokemon Generations that does cover this exact scene. It also covers the city freezing, which is also a really cool, dramatic, epic short you should go watch on Pokemon's channel. My favorite, though, is the one they do of the Black-White one, the End's Castle rising up. That one was amazing.
Shoutouts to N for showing up at the very end.
Yes, to save us out of nowhere is N and Reshiram, which, oh no, that activates Getsus' trap card, the DNA Splicers. Oh no.
And shoutouts to N being the hardest card to ever search for.
And having the best theme ever, because that theme is always great. But this is the moment where I get to just set my DS down and stop mashing and just get to enjoy things for a little while. So, you know, wonderful weather we're having.
Yeah, this is definitely different than last year's little interesting. It started the week with us absolutely sweating out to snow at the end of the week.
Yeah. I mean, on Friday, I was watching it flurry from my house from here as a fellow Minnesota native, so I was like, better not snow this weekend. Like, you can't be doing that.
And there was snow on my lawn Saturday morning.
Yeah, that sounds great. You know, I just can't get enough of that darn weather as a Minnesotan, you know? So I gotta be talking
golly.
about the weather.
Golly, it's just always, you know, it's always there, you know.
Yeah, it just never gets stopped, you know?
Oh,
Oh, it's really sunny and nice today. If it wasn't for that wind, you know.
Oh, jeez. Oh, the wind, it's just always so bitter, you know.
Ah, it's so bitter out there, you know. It's just, wish I didn't have to wear my coat everywhere, you know.
Yeah, it's just, the first day when it's so sunny and you take your sweater, you don't even take the sweater. It's so great.
Yeah, it's great. It's so annoying when it's like 80 degrees inside but 40 degrees outside, so you have your coat on and then it gets really hot inside and you have to take it off and oh my god.
Oh, it's so great.
Oh, don't you know it?
Oh, by golly. Oh, let's drop this bit. I think it's about time to start.
Oh, I don't know. We got another minute and a half.
Oh, jeez.
I know. Don't you know it? You know, this is what they get for hosting it in Minnesota. I mean, that's, you know, they get all the Minnesotas.
I mean, where else could we have this
I mean,
awesome event, Midwest Speedfest? We've been doing this here since 2015. Let's go.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm happy this is the best place, you know, bud?
Oh, absolutely. You just know it.
Proud to be a Minnesotan. I'm proud to be in driving distance of GDQ.
Let's go.
I save $400 once a year.
Bed.
I only have to deal with the airports once a year.
Wow, that something sure happened to that Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, that. Don't worry about it.
That just looks slightly concerning.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. It looks like a freak of nature. It has a kind heart. Don't worry about it. So the funny thing is that this Kyurem does have random stats. It can live Iron Head. It is very rare to. It basically needs to have a plus defense nature, which is like a 4 and 25 odds, and it needs to have a really high HP and defense IV to do it. So thankfully, no shenanigans there. It has lived on me once. I didn't die, fortunately. It does have random AI, so it can just pick any of its 4 moves. But one of them in particular just completely destroys you. I think it's like Ice Burn or something that's ice.
Boy, is that ominous.
It's Dennis. I mean, he's got to be ominous, right? He also looks really tired, man. I think he like needs a seat.
I mean, after DNA splicing 2 giant Pokemon together, I'd be a little tired too.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if that cane like doubles as a seat or something. That'd be kind of clutch for him. All right, so we set up Swords Dance, and then we basically can just sweep the rest of Gets' team. Really nice that we didn't lose an Earthquake to protect. That would make things a little tighter with how many Earthquakes I have, but not the biggest deal in the world.
But then again, we did see his setup a little while ago, so he was probably up all night gaming.
Yeah, he is probably really tired too. I don't know, so he's probably a gamer, and he hasn't, you know, he probably hasn't hit the gym in a while.
I would try to name a game that came out around that time, but I haven't the slightest. I was not prepared for 2012.
All right, this is a Rock Slide I really don't want to miss. Good. This does have Flamethrower, and if it burns me, I'm just in a really bad situation from there on out. Like, I'd basically be improvising the rest of the fight, which, if my stand-up comedy routine has anything to say about it, I'm not good at improv. A slightly illegal Hydreigon because Zweilous doesn't evolve until like 65, 68, something like just ridiculous.
It's Gen 5. Everything evolves way too late.
Yeah, I don't know what they were cooking with that. But with that, Dennis is defeated. Team Plasma is no more. Also, N could have like chipped in and gave us Rush Ram or something.
Or done like anything after saving us from being, you know, iced to death, I suppose. We almost did get iced to death.
It probably isn't too useful to have Rush Ram. It's funny, the Black-White 1 any percent just sacks Rush Ram as quickly as you can, within reason. Just because Rush Ram is not that useful outside of like the first poke of each one just to get rid of them.
Shoutouts to VoIPing out and leaving his cane behind.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, you saw how heavy that cane looked. I don't think the ninja can bring both Getsus and the cane. All right, so Hugh has come to the realization that Team Plasma is no more and is very satisfied with this. So now we can head off to Victory Road. It is almost time.
Oh yeah, there was whole thing about gyms and badges and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that in that 45-minute detour to eradicate Team Plasma. So now we can finally think about defeating the Elite Four and the champion once for all.
All in a day's work for a preteen child.
That's right. So I'm just going to wait for this guy to do a little back and forthy thingy any day now. Someday. Eventually. Quite possibly. Alright. Okay, so welcome to Victory Road. This is the best Victory Road theme. I will die on that hill. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Although it's better in Black White 1 because they have a really huge epic like badge check that where the theme like slowly builds as you go through each gate. They kind of condense that down in this game, which I'm not complaining about because it's faster to get through, but you just kind of miss out on the slow and very satisfying, even in a speedrun build-up of the Victory Road theme. But
Man, TSA is intense in Unova.
yeah, you have to do 8 scans for 8 pieces of metal. You know, like you can't skirt this. Sadly, there's no super meaningful glitches in Gen 5 that let us skip anything. That's why the 80% has been a pretty traditional like glitchless speedrun.
Oh, but on the bright side, you don't even have to take off your shoes or get off your bike.
This is true. So I need strength, so I have to go get Pig Knight real quick, and I might as well buy a revive just for the heck of it, just in case. I'll buy 2 just because I feel frisky. I have $148. What would you do with $148,000, Bungie?
Pay off most of my mortgage?
That's honestly fair. At least you could afford a mortgage.
It was a miracle.
All right, so we got 4 trainers we have to take care of in Victory Road here. This one's kind of amusing sometimes. She's going to lead a Drift Blem. I'm going to Swords Dance and then Rock Slide and hope it hits. If it not, the Drift Blem's going to be spamming Stockpiles, so I want to take it out before it gets to the point where Stockpile has done so much to its defense that I have to set up again. Also annoying thing is, or really funny depending on how you look at it, and this has happened to me before, if you miss enough Rock Slides, that Drift Blem sets up to like +3 defense or something with Stockpile. It'll then click, it then might click Baton Pass and send all that to Claydol, and Claydol just turns into a unit. And you basically have to go to +4 in order to take care of it.
That sounds like a horrifying Claydol.
It is. Oh, I never taught strength. That's why I can't push that boulder. So the reason I had to pull Pig Knight out is because Azrael cannot learn strength. So that's why Psyduck is better, is because Psyduck can learn strength, but sadly because I lost a minute before Psyduck, not much I can do about that. So Pig Knight does make one last stride, pushing a couple boulders for us.
Shoutouts to strength being not until like the very end of the game.
Yeah, and surface for like 2 things. They are required things, but at least 2 things. I'm just getting off the bike there to be really careful, because that guy has a really long view of vision, and hitting him is not a very fun day. And a cheeky little setup here. Oh, that guy is a... That guy was spinning around. Holy smokes. All right, so we're going to pick up that full restore because we'll actually use that as part of the route into E4 to get to full. This guy's not too special. It'll just be Swords Dance and a couple of Earthquakes. So this will be my last opportunity to remind everybody that the marathon is drawing quickly to a close. You should get all the donations in that you can.
Yeah, pile on those donations or bid off the PB. We can do it. We're almost to the end run. TTS has got this. We're almost to the Elite Four. Let's freaking go.
Let's go. So I don't really have a fancy setup for this lady either, so I'm going to have to do some shenanigans. Well, I basically just have to sit and wait, really. It's not really any shenanigans. Fortunately, she's looking down. Okay, so that's perfect. This next room is pitch black, so it can be kind of a troll because you just gotta have to know where you're going, and it's got some kind of really trolly placed boulders that can kind of get in your way. That is extremely clean. Okay, I'll take that. Oops, come on.
Just manipping.
All right. Yeah, just RNG minute. Meant to talk to her, but again, with another thing with the bike is it's just so fast, it's hard to react to. Like,
oh, guess no brakes like the
under
marathon.
overshooting. All right, so this one has a sock. I can't one-shot it because it has sturdy. So I'm gonna use Rock Slide to try to flinch it, and also just chip it, and then I'll use the Iron Head to actually finish it. I really don't want to see bulk up because, or no. What is it? It has moves. Lots of moves. I want to see bulk up. I don't want to see Rock Tomb, because I don't want my speed to get dropped, because I don't want it to outspeed me and click Brick Break.
That's not a sock. That's a Karate Man.
Bulk up. Okay, that's a perfect fight. Or I could also just click Brick Break too. I basically don't want to heal going up Victory Road if I can help it. And fortunately, my health is amazing because Sock did not attack me, so... very good there. Otherwise, you typically have to heal before Hew, and that's a whole menu, just a time loss. So don't want that to happen if you can help it. All right, so this is the second to last trainer before the E4 here. Nothing too special here. I'm just going to set up Swords Dance and then click Iron Head and Earthquake, as you do with Bone Club. Like, he's just such a good poke. So fortunately, this one has a throw, and throw does not have sturdy, so I don't have to worry about that.
But let's not throw the run or throw those opportunities to get those donations in. We're almost to the end, chat. Let's go!
I would like to not throw the run, but we're not out of the thicket yet. There's a plethora of niche scenarios in the E4 that can make things really awkward for us, but surely we will have no issues there. I'm just going to get off the bike when I overshoot or undershoot, because sometimes that's better than just dancing, because it's really hard to do one-tile corrections.
Encore, encore.
So this is our fifth and last Hew fight. He's going to lead on Pheasant. The plan with Unpheasant is to get Facade. It does have Swagger. I would like to not have to deal with healing Swagger, but what can you do? Again, AI is never guaranteed to do anything unless it's guaranteed to kill you. Yep, that's what you expect. Nope, that's not my full heal. That's my full heal. Unfortunately, after Undella Rival, like almost immediately after, Hew forgets the... he forgets how to use Aqua Jet. Well, he doesn't forget how to use Aqua Jet, he just does not keep Aqua Jet on Samurott. So Samurott is no longer a threat, it's just a simple one-shot. Also, because I can actually like set up to one-shot Samurott, that's also why it's not a huge deal. I have a lot of Iron Heads, and I'm trying to think about why I do. I'm not mad about it, I'm just curious about it. But anyway, I have one EQ, which will be good for Marshall's Conk. He's got a Conk holder that is kind of a pain. And with that, we've made it to the Pokemon League. So only 5 fights sit between us and Cynthia, our beloved. So I guess having Pig Knight in the party is nice for a little extra safety in case I need to sack something, but it's not super crazy either. So there's 4 that we fight. Their types are Ghost, Dark, Psychic, and Fighting, going left to right. So we're going straight right and going to fight Marshall first, because Marshall is at a point where we won't put anything into heal range, but we still two-shot things, so it's the most sensible to go for first. The plan here is to just flinch everything, and if I don't get flinches, then I'm really sad and lose time. Basically, on throw, I'm going to click Iron Head right away and hope that I don't get Bulldoze, because if I get a speed drop, I have to sack and get my speed back, so I don't want that to happen. Also, shout out to the best Elite 4 theme. So because of Bulldoze, I don't really have an opportunity to ever set up. Because it's fighting, he just does a ton of damage to me too. So I'm basically just looking to flinch at every possible opportunity. And unfortunately, we did not get the flinch right away. Asriel's got this though. Well, I believed in it anyway. Alright, so now I have my speed back, so I always outspeed Yanxiao. So Conk is another one I need a two-shot. I really don't want to see bulk up ever from it. It raises its defense and makes things really awkward for me. But I'm just going to hope for the best. Alright, good flinch. So this is a pretty decent martial fight. I'm probably going to have to take a death on the sock though, just because I'm dead to break unless I get a flinch. No, I will just miss Rock Slide. That is not the end of the world. It is just very unfortunate that this is where I miss Rock Slide compared to any other case where it wouldn't be too bad. So I'll just use the max revives that Rude graciously gave me to recover. Let's try this again. Didn't get the flinch, but this is fine. Yeah, this is fine health. The more health, the merrier, but this is fine. All right, and with that, that's 1 down, 3 to go. So the next one we're going to fight is Grimsley. Grimsley is kind of a cakewalk, but the reason we're going to do him now is because we need to use an elixir to get our moves PP restored, because otherwise we're not going to have enough to finish the run. So Lipard, which is Grimsley's lead, which is also the attract user in the E4 that I mentioned that would be bad if we weren't female, has Fake Out. So we can't really do anything turn 1, because it's always going to go for Fake Out and just flinch us. So instead, using that turn to Elixir instead is just a much better situation.
Grimsley's room is intense.
Yeah, they're all pretty intense stylistically. So I just need to set up a +2. And then I can sweep without much thought here.
Well, if you can do that without thought, I can read a $13 donation from Dash Prime, or from Bash Prime, probably. In case all of VGM Con hasn't heard of me, I want you all to lend your energy and join in on 3 now. 1, 2, 3, boom!
Alright, so all we have left is the Sharp. The Sharp is not really a big issue at all. And again, we outspeed everything. So the next one we're going to be dealing with is Chantal. Chantal is annoying. She's going to be leading a Cophagrigus just like Gitsis, except this time it has Will-O-Wisp. So it can pick Will-O-Wisp, it can pick Shadow Ball. It's anybody's guess. Place your bets now. Minimum bets start at $5 donations.
Will-O-Wisp miss.
That would be pretty hype, because that would give me a roller coaster of emotions, going from oh god to oh thank god, especially given this health.
Look at all those spooky books.
Spooky. The main concern here is missing Rock Slide on Driftblim. This is the last Rock Slide I need to hit in the run. A combination of missing like Rock Slide and taking damage from Driftblim and taking damage from Copagrigus can kill me. Along with that burn, throwing some wonky stuff in there. I don't have to use my full restore yet, so I'm hoping to only to have to use my full heals. Whoa!
Called it!
I need like a phone on my desk that just calls Bungie, like a hotline that calls Bungie, so I could just call you up whenever I
Sounds
need
like
like
I'm not that
something.
far away, so I think we can do that.
Yeah, we can make it work. What is Will-O-Wisp accuracy? I can't remember it offhand for the love of
I
me.
want to say it's 80, but it's Gen 5, so it'll take me a minute to dig for that.
Yeah, let's consult the archive. So I'd argue it's like a coin flip-ish to get Will-O-Wisp. It's kind of hard to get a quantifiable number without just doing a ton of attempts, which I have done a ton of attempts, but it's a ton of time to count the ton of attempts, how many times I've gotten Will-O-Wisp, so I don't want to do that.
Will-O-Wisp is 75% in Gen 5.
Oh, okay. So that was a cheeky little 25% miss. Shout out to Bungie.
Shout outs to TTS for this awesome run. Still some time for some donations, chat. Let's get them in. By the way, Will-O-Wisp is now 85% as of Gen 9.
Oh, they raised it in Gen 9. Interesting. I wonder what their
I'm
justification
not
was
sure
for that.
which gen it was, but it was later on.
Okay. So, Caitlyn is the easiest of them. She leads Musharna. Musharna can only attack us with Dream Eater because her other move is Shockwave, and Shockwave does 0 damage to us. So, basically, all she can really do is try to put me to sleep, which is just a perfect opportunity for me to set up until I fall asleep. And then I can full restore to full, which will let me get rid of the sleep, and then I'll be full health for the champion, which is really nice. Reflect is fine because I don't have to worry about anything with +4. I still kill.
It was Gen 6. It was the next gen.
Oh! Well, just in time for that amazing call then. So, we're getting into the champion here, which means we're getting into the end of it. So, last calls for donations. And thank you all for donating for the Cynthia incentive, so we get to have a little more fun of time together, even though we're in the last, 8-ish minutes or so.
We're almost to the end, but we still got time check. Get those donations in. I know you can do it. Just Gothitelle looking for the donations there.
That's right. Used Frisk and found a lucky egg donation. All right, so champion time. So, to do the champion, it's pretty simple. The plan is just again set up Swords Dance and Sweep. The only problem is she's gonna lead another illegal High Dragon. I think it's illegal. But it has Surf and Flamethrower, which both do the exact same damage rolls, so it's basically a coin flip which one she's going to use. At least I'm going to say it's a coin flip because I don't know better. But between Surf and Flamethrower, I want Surf because Flamethrower has a chance to burn me, and if I get burned, things get a little awkward. So I'm hoping that that does not happen, and everything is hunky-dory, and there's never a problem, and why would things go wrong in a Pokemon speedrun?
That never happens.
Surely it never happens. Cynthia's name is better, I'm sorry.
Shout outs to them just kind of never being around for the rest of the game. That is illegal.
It is.
64.
Oh, it's 64, okay. I knew it was in the 60s, I just couldn't remember the exact level. Flamethrower,
Which is
please
a
don't,
scene.
thank you. So again, because of the like AI never sees a kill unless you are guaranteed to die to it. Fortunately, I'm not actually in range to die to Iris's Haxorus, so that's not a problem. Because you could be at, like, because Mineral is 136, you could be at, like, 137, and it could just pick D-Dance instead of going for the 15 and 16 to kill you, which is really nice. But we're also going to be going for Iron Head on it. It has a Focus Sash, so there's not really much we can do. So it's just use the Focus Sash to try to, like, proc a flinch to save time. Otherwise, Iris is just going to use D-Dance because it doesn't see the kill most of the time. Sometimes it can use Earthquake, but probably not. But then because at the 1 HP... What? If I had a nickel for every time something that doesn't normally happen happened in this run, I'd have 3 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's crazy to say it's happened 3 times. But yeah, because she's going to heal because it's at 1 HP, I was not really at a threat of getting hit again, so that's nice. It just sucks that we don't get to listen to good champion music before the end of the run. But Haxorus is down, which means GG's.
Bird.
Bird with the worst ability ever.
Oh, Rivalry.
For those who don't know, Rivalry is an ability that cuts your attack in half at half or below HP. I don't know why. What was Game Freak cooking? Or sorry, it's Defeatist. Rivalry is on gender.
The Rivalry might have been on one of the Haxorus.
It could be on Haxorus. I don't know. It's either that or it didn't have Mold Breaker, so it must have Rivalry.
Yeah, which if for that one, you do more. Your attack is up if you're the same gender.
No, it has a Mold Breaker.
Yeah, but Rivalry.
No, the roles don't change because of gender. I'm looking at this. I'm curious. I'm curious of the Haxorus ability now. I have a spreadsheet somewhere. Because it's can't be. I was just not paying attention. It is no, it's not Defeatist. It does have Mold Breaker. Okay, so yeah, I just ignore the Mold Breaker text every time.
Yeah, and it's like the other ability it could have would be Rivalry, which
yes, depending on gender.
Plus attack if they're the same gender, but minus attack if they're the opposite.
Yes. I knew that didn't sound right, because I only had one set of rolls for genders.
Which is why trying to route a Haxorus speedrun is really unfun, because you either lose a bunch of time to Mold Breaker or have really hard fights depending on what gender you're fighting.
That's right. So, a little bit longer of Hall of
Zeta.
Fame, but get ready on time. The time stops on the last fade out here, so once I fade the black, that'll be time. And time.
Oh!
Yeah, you guys want to run it back in easy mode?
Easy mode, easy mode, easy mode. And shout outs to Sex Rex with a $10 donation that says, let's go, Bergie. And let's go, Bone Club.
All right.
And let's go, TTS. What an awesome run. Give it up.
Thank you. I don't know what the final time on it was. I don't know it was particularly special, but
3:25:38.
3:25. Ooh, I was getting pretty up there to my estimates. So a lot of unfortunate stuff that happened in the early game. What can you do? But yeah, at least we finished. So that's always an accomplishment. So as fun as these credits are, unfortunately, we have unfinished business with Cynthia to do. So let's go do that now that we have saved. So I guess I'll start some of my shout-outs here while I get to Cynthia here, because it'll take a little bit of setup, because I have to go do some shopping quick, and then we'll go do the deed with Cynthia and duel it out. So shout out to the Gen 5 community. Everyone who runs Gen 5 is really cool. I love working with you guys on breaking this game apart. Shout out to DSPSR in general. We have a huge Discord for us to discuss routing, and if you're ever interested in getting into running these games, we are all there with open and welcoming arms. You're always welcome to join the DSPSR Discord to learn about speedrunning these games, or the Gen 4 games in particular, or there's a ton of other servers for the different generations, all split up by platforms, so you can find your respective one on the SRC page if you're interested in running something a little different than this. Shout out to Minnow. He's the current world record holder of any percent. I wish I could beat him one day, but I have to put this game down or I'm going to go mad with some of the shenanigans that can happen. But yeah, so let's go do some shopping. Oh, also, shout out to my friends that let me stay at their apartment this weekend and hang out with them so that I can save a little bit of money. Also, it's been a blast hanging out with them, so thank you all. All right, so we gotta go buy some X items because we need some X speeds to take care of Cynthia. Otherwise, we don't outspeed. I think we don't outspeed Garchomp, and Garchomp is really bad. I don't want to get seen by that roughneck. As fun as it would be to add time to our time together, unfortunately, things have to come to an end eventually. So. Alright, some shopping. Let's see. Let's buy some X pens. And that should, or X speeds. That should be all I need if I am remembering how to fight Cynthia properly. I have like infinite hyper potions, so that shouldn't be an issue. I still have revives if things go really astray, but at that point, just resetting might be better, but we'll see. Whoops, nope, it's this house. Oh no! I want to get y'all dancing. Alright, so I need to set up the +4 and use an X speed. All the while, Spiritomb is going to be doing a combination of putting me to sleep and double team. Okay, can I hit it? Wow. I think that's the best I've had so far when it comes to that, so alright, now I just have to click the right moves, which I forgot, but we'll figure it out. A little EQ. Alright, the scary one is down. One last one, the Glaceon. I'm sorry, but it has to be done.
Let's go, Bone Club!
Bone Club has done the job. And with that, I think that's the end of my time here. So I want to thank VGMCon and Midwest Speedfest for having me. It was a blast. I hope you guys all enjoyed my little tour through the Unova region. I think it was a blast. So thank you all so much.
And thank